of Lord
Oh, look at,
Ganesh.
we're both plunging, are we? See, I just plunged mine as well.
Well, look, so this is
my other cup, but I needed a big one today. I am tired. I need to these.
Oh, this is the big one. This is the one that Amanda sent me.
Oh, I love that cup.
Yeah, and so on top of it, look, I'm using Lord Ganesh. This is my Lord Ganesh. Don't know where his nose went.
That's very cute.
So he's on top of my tea. He's holding it down for me. And putting, you know what? He's putting prosperity in my tea too.
I love Ellie's. I'm going to Africa soon. I can't wait. I've been planning my next adventure going back, and I'm so excited. I'm going to spend the whole time in the bush if I could.
Are you going to South Africa?
Yeah.
You taking a trip?
I go every year. It's part of my custody agreement. My little man gets to go visit his other side of the family.
I understand. The only reason why I asked, because I did a reading on Tuesday, and this lady, they told me to tell her she either needs to go to Stonehenge or Adam's Calendar.
Well,
yeah,
you used to go to Adam's Calendar. Hit me up. I know. I used to do tours there. I know that place like the back of my hand.
Well, I will. I think she follows you
in South Africa, and I know Kopsawup very, very well.
Well, I think she follows you. So what I'm gonna do when I get off of here, I'm gonna tell her to maybe get in contact with you to figure out what she wanna do. But yeah, they told me to tell her.
There's some good people there. It's really funny that we're having this conversation because I went to check. Do you know who Michael Tellinger is?
Michael Tellinger?
Yeah.
Yes.
I used to do tours for him. That's how I was doing the Stone Circle tours and the Adams Calendar tours. I went to check his property yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
It was so dark, it can't be cleared right now. And he picked up the Sangoma. Do you know what a Sangoma is?
I've heard the name. I've heard that before, but I don't think I have.
Witch doctor, basically.
Oh, ooh.
And that property was so dark. I was like, holy shit. There's a lot of layers that are coming up to be healed right now. And Adam's Calendar, I think it needs to be cleared as well. So I might check that too. Raquel's like, oh, see, Raquel is here. Raquel's from South Africa. Raquel, did you come in at the right time there? You saw it, man. Stone Circle is so dark right now. It is pitch black. So that's why I need to, I'm going to have a whole team together to clear that. Whoop, we lost Loy. She'll be back. There she is.
Where did that go?
I don't know. You disappeared. Were you trying to log into your Facebook?
Yes, I'm trying to stream.
It did that to somebody the other day.
Alrighty. So
try it again.
Yeah, I'm in now, so I'm just streaming to my audience. I'll be just a minute, guys. We see my head down. I'm trying to.
I'll finish making my coffee. Good morning, everybody. Nice to see you all. Welcome. So yeah, as I was saying, we need to definitely clear that area because holy shit, that was dark yesterday. So I'm like, all right, retreat. We'll come back later. We're gonna come back with backup. So yeah, Raquel, that is definitely a call you're gonna have to be on for. We're gonna need everybody. Seriously, it was bad there. It's a long story, but Michael pissed off somebody, and justifiably so. That man is a psychopath. And so I'm not like, I don't condone what she did, but I understand why she did it. And but it was so dark there. I actually made friends with the Sangoma. It's a long story, but she didn't know the people that were going to be living there. She didn't know it was going to be Linko Village where we were trying to help people in the area. So she cursed it before we moved in, basically. And I talked to her about it, and she'd come by every once in a while. And I asked her, I said something about the area being very dark. And we saw an entity, something with glowing red eyes in Michael Tellinger's museum. And I was like, holy shit, there's some stuff going on. So I messaged her and told her that she apologized and said, I'm sorry, I've been trying to undo what I did. And she said, once you open the floodgates, they can't be closed.
I understand.
Yep.
I understand.
We'll see what the guides can do about it. But right now, it's a big fucking Lizzie nest.
Oh, I kind of, you know what I've been getting lately? Like, and just being here in my own little zone, but I kind of feel like, oh my God, sorry that I laugh, Jamonkey. Yeah, Daniel, Jamonkey. Daniel, you need to see the dog too. They have Jadog too, you know, they have Jadog too. You need to see that one there too. A brownie first, and the brownie first, and then do the jam monkey after that. But a brownie I lead.
Brownies.
So what I've been feeling lately, oh Laurie, you sipping your tea. I now should start to make mine. So what I've been feeling is that for some reason, I feel like we are back kind of in the same place that we were during Atlantis. When Atlantis, Lemuria, all that thing, when all of that went on, I feel like we are back there. And it's crazy, the technological advances, all the stuff we are doing. But the thing is, I think the difference right now is that there are more of us who are heart-centered over head-centered, because that's the thing with Atlantis that really happened. They got head-centered, they got head over heart. It's like the technology was leaving the spirit, so to say. They didn't combine it, and I feel like we are kind of back there now. And that's why, to me, so much attacks are ramping up, and so many people are getting psychic attacks these days. And if you notice, it's the people who are trying to spread the light. They're trying to stamp out the people who are spreading the light. But then I understand, because when you get rid of the light, every light source that you get rid of, it's more darkness creeps in. So I want to say, people, hold the fort, it's a death throes where, yes, hold the line. No retreat, no surrender. We are forward ever, backwards never. We ain't going back. The only thing we're doing is looking back to see what lessons did we learn that we can use in where we're going.
My inner Highlander wants to paint my face and go war charging right now. Like,
blue? You mean, when I think of that, Budik always comes to me with the blue paint.
Freedom! Sorry.
Of course.
I'm just fed up with it. I 100% agree that we are in Atlantis 2.0.
Yup. And if you look, with
however,
again,
I think that we were much worse off last time than we are now. We are much more illusioned than we are now, than we were before. It was more overt, like straight up, we own your ass kind of vibe back then. Whereas now they're like, we sneaky own you. Like less, more mental chains than physical chains.
And you know what?
At this point, that's you know what I mean.
You say the mental chain. Guys, go look at my Facebook. Yesterday I posted, there's a post on my Facebook I posted. It says it's about the television. And I break it down so people can understand. Like, I put the patent, I put everything there. You may have to scroll a bit on my page, but I put a long page. You probably can't read it while you're on this now because it's long and it's gonna take some time to go through. But basically I showed just how, as Laura is saying, it's mental, because guess what? They know that it's a fight for consciousness. They know that if they can control your consciousness, if they can get into your head, they get you to create the reality they want. These people don't do anything. They do not do anything more than they sit and they project. And I'll tell you, it is so crazy with the patent with the TV where they break, and it's on Google. And the thing is, as we know, these people, in order to lessen their karma, they do not hide what they do. They put it out there. All these patents are out there. When you go and when you read it, it is crazy the things that they do to the television. Basically, not just television, anything that has a screen. It can be your TV, your computer. I'm not saying, guys, as I put in the post, that you're not to use them, but I'm just saying, be conscious of it. Use them wisely. If you're watching a TV show or anything and you see that you start feeling fearful, stop. Don't sit there and, or I'll tell you what I used to do once. There was a time I used to watch TV before I understand, and when certain things come up and I start feeling scared, instead of stop, I'd be hiding my eyes. And now I'm like, why am I doing that?
As a kid,
I'm like, I don't want to see that. I don't want to hear that.
Something makes me jump.
Yeah, so the programming and then the KGB, this is the thing. For me, I love to research. I don't just come out here and spew things. I love to sit and do my research. Damn. And in the 60s, the KGB, they did this experiment where they show that if you bombard people for 2 months with fear-based programming, no matter what truth you tell them after, they will not listen to the truth. They will not hear the truth, because the fear has already taken over their amygdala, the part in their brain that deals with fear. And so no matter what you tell them after, that is why when people get brainwashed, it is so hard for us to tell them the truth or tell them anything, because the fear section of their brain has already been hijacked.
Cognitive dissonance.
Mm-hmm. And no matter what you do, it's so hard to get them back. And this is crazy. And then there are so many movies. If you look, they make so many movies, man, that show you this, that show you that. You gotta be, it's a war for your consciousness. It's a war for your mind.
It certainly
And
is.
I've been listening for some reason for the last maybe 2 weeks or so. I've been drawn to listen to Sarah Bresman books. And when I started listening to Trail of Tears, oh my, I can't even finish that one as yet. Like, I started.
The saddest one. I struggled with that one a little bit. It triggered.
Lara,
I've had Indigenous lifetimes, and you can feel yourself being triggered. I think we all have had Indigenous lifetimes. So yeah, you know, when you tune into something like that, and you can feel the pain that they went through, and yeah, I mean, they're still being
it's
dramatically suppressed.
And when you look at it, all that's going on, because basically, from what I understand from listening to her books, all the Indigenous people.
Now, for those of you who don't know who I'm talking about, Sarah Brestman Cosme is her name. She is a student of Dolores Cannon. She's a friend of mine. She is wonderful person.
So something that I think
journey books, right? So all of her books are very similar to Dolores's.
Listening to the Trail of Tears one, and even the one before, the Atlantis one, something that I gather from that is, and this is just my opinion, in terms of Indigenous people, I feel like all the Indigenous people who are like South America, North America, Central America, the Caribbean, I feel like they are, because remember, they said that when Atlantis and Lemurian thing happened, they came to Mount Shasta and they were underground for a while. And then, after, and even the tribes, the Hopi and all these people, they have it where they talk about where they say that they were under the earth and then they came out from under the earth and they started to, and when I was listening to the Trail of Tears and they started talking about the Indigenous people, I felt it in my soul. I felt it like, I can't even describe what I felt. But then I have to remember, I'm Jamaican. The Tainos, the Arawaks, they were Jamaican. They were Indigenous people just the same. And it's like, I can't even describe, Laura, what I felt in my chest, but it was this grief. And I just started crying, just sitting there crying.
Point about the Arawak. The
Tainos.
And the Tainos. I know. They're honestly, maybe we should check and see if they're all fully crossed over. They might have.
I don't think so. I don't think so, because
honestly, no, you're probably right.
They aren't. And I will say, this is how, funny enough, this is how I found you. This is how I found Sarah Brestman as well, because I started having dreams of being when I was younger. So in Lucy, I want to have that place. Oh my God, I hope it's right on the coast. Jesus, I hope the hurricane didn't destroy it. I forgot to ask my kids about that. But in Lucy, there is it was an old British fort, and they turned it into an Arawak museum. And when I was younger, like going there, you could go there and the artifacts and everything were there, like the artifacts they found like on the coast in Lucy and all of that. And one of the ones that I would always love to play with is they have this thing they use for the cassava, where it's like it's woven, it's a woven thing and it's long. They make some of them now. The thing where you put on your finger, when you do like this, it's if you do like this, it comes together, and then if you do like this, it tightens on your finger. Yeah. So they have a big one, and you grate the cassava, you put it in it, and then you can, if two people can use it, if not, you can put the end of piece over a pole, like, and then you pull it, and when you pull it, it takes all the water out of the cassava. And I started having dreams about that, and then I came upon you and Dolores and Sarah. So I do feel like the dreams like that are trying to tell me that there's something that needs to be done for them. I don't know if it's crossing over, or I kind of feel like their stories being forgotten. That's the feeling I keep getting. So I would appreciate
what they want. They want their stories to be told. They don't want to be forgotten. They want to make sure that, because a lot of this wasn't written down. Most of the suffering that happened to Indigenous people was not written down. I mean, yeah, Christopher Columbus wrote about what he did to the Taino people in his journals, and that's the only reason we even know about it. And if you read what he wrote, it's soul crushing.
Of course.
He bragged about how easily
9-year-olds, how
they were so kind and sweet and loving, and how easily he decimated them because of it. He was
You know,
the mentality of back in the day. You know, they just wanted to fluff themselves in their own courts. They didn't really care about the people that they were hurting. They didn't have that level of consciousness at that point. They didn't. We
you're
didn't. I
right.
mean, anyway, it's just there's so
You're
much
right.
history in every corner of the planet. This was seen. It doesn't matter. I mean, we go and do clearings in Australia. We find suffering from the indigenous people in Australia. We find them stuck as earthbounds because of all the horrible shit they went through. Because if you didn't roll over, they rolled over you. You know what I mean? Like they would just steamroll your entire civilization, your culture, your language, your history,
Everything.
people, your DNA was wiped off the fucking map.
Mhm.
That's just what they did. So, and that's why so much of, I hate to say this, and this is something that she also talked about in her book. I'm not sure if it's the Atlantis book or the Trail of Tears book, and it could even be the Avalon book that she wrote. The Avalon book is actually my favorite, where she talks about how much of our history in regards to Atlantis was completely erased intentionally, so they didn't have a baseline of where we started.
Yeah, because remember they erase that. They erase anything that, you know, tells us about our divinity, tells us about our start, that tells us the truth. Like they don't want us to know. That's a crazy thing, guys. They don't want us to know the truth. They want to give us a manufactured truth. They want to give us a truth that, you know, the truth that fits their agenda.
They even tried to say the Vikings didn't have a language, that they didn't have that runes were, that they didn't have their own. Yeah, this is what I mean, though, because they don't want, and Druids as well. They said the Druids.
You know the crazier one too? The Mayas. So when they found the Mayas, they destroyed the codices. You know how many codices they found? The Mayas had. They had this language, a thing where they would do not just the Mayas, the Aztecs too. They had their language, but some of them was like, I think one of them is the thing they do with the knots and the different knots and how many knots are on the pieces, like lengths of cords, and then you read it by how they tie the knots. They destroyed all of that. They destroyed the codices. The other thing, even El Dorado. People know what El Dorado is. El Dorado is when they came upon the Mayas and the Aztecs and those people, the Incas and so. So gold to them represented the sun. So they used gold. They didn't know that, you know, how we think that gold is precious and it's expensive. It was precious to them, but it was precious because it represented the sun. I remember the sun is the light, the giver of life. So they worship the gold in that way. So what they would do is they would, you know, they would do like golden teeth and stuff on them. You see, when Cortez and the other one found them, he sent them to dive into their cenotes. So you know what the cenotes are? The cenotes are like they're like their graves. They're like the pyramids of Egypt. And so this man, these people said they're savages, and they sent them down into the cenotes to go take the gold off of their ancestor, their people down there, bring it up, and then they kill them and sent all that gold. All the gold you people see in the Vatican, all that pretty gold you see there, that came from the so-called savages. And they said they didn't know anything. And what they did, when they found out that these people had a written language, they destroyed it. When they found Teotihuacan, if you understand, when these people came here and they found Teotihuacan, it was a civilization unlike nothing. When they came here and they found that, people in Europe were still living in mud houses, in caves and all of that. And Teotihuacan blew their mind. And it was a city in a lake. If you understand Teotihuacan, you know that it's in a lake. It's a city in a lake, and it blew their mind. And not only that, when the British went to Africa, Timbuktu, and when they found Mali, the universities of Mali and Timbuktu, they destroyed them. They tried to destroy them because they didn't want, according to them, savages couldn't build these things.
The crazy thing is that how many years did they went to war for a while and they lost? Moctezuma, you remember the story about what happened there? They lost every battle. They were losing. The conquistadors were getting their asses handed to them. And you know what changed the tide for them?
The sickness, the
disease.
Diseases, yeah, they're diseases.
Diseases killed everybody. They did not. Then they went back and bragged about it and said, "Well, we got them all," but they didn't. They literally just got everybody sick. They brought their illness to them, and it was the illnesses that killed everybody. Wiped out whole civilization.
Smallpox and malaria and all these things.
Yeah. All of that shit. Yep.
What's fascinating to me, Laura, when I moved here, so all the stuff like growing up in the Caribbean, our history, I learned the real history, not the whitewash one. And so when I came here and heard that Columbus Day, like my eyes were like, are you people crazy? You don't know who Columbus is, because in the Caribbean they taught us. One of the craziest things about Columbus was when he came and he saw the people with gold, the little gold jewelry or whatever on them, he would send them to go dig for the gold. And if they can't find the gold, he chopped their hands off and tied their hands around their neck. And then anybody, you can't feed them. So basically these people who he chopped their hands off would starve to death.
It sounds brutal, but there were people all over Europe that did that as well. This was common practice. I mean,
yeah, because that's what they took.
Extremely horrific, but it was common.
Remember Columbus? Remember a lot of the things.
Congolese people? How many people in Congo were killed?
But remember, you know where they got all that from, Laura? The Spanish Inquisition. So basically, they came over here they came from Spain, because when they came over here at the same time, it was at the height of the Spanish Inquisition. So all the torture elements, all the torture tools, all those things, they came here with it.
I said something to my guides about the Inquisition and how creative they were with their torture, because I find resonances of people that have medieval torture, people that are still suffering to this day because they carry that resonance of medieval torture. And they're very clever with how they tortured people back then. I mean, and I asked, like, where did this come from? Can you guess where it came from? Where all that information, that knowledge on how to torture humans came from?
From Atlantis.
Reptilians in Atlantis.
Reptilians, yeah, when they were doing the...
I asked the guys, I said, humans were really that creative back then?
No.
They were reptilians. They were telling them what to do.
But even now, Laura, like, the crazy thing is, so many people, especially in the scientific and research community, are being led by reptilians and they don't know. That is why some of the crazy experiments and some of the things that they're doing, they don't... Even Sarah talks about it in one of her books with the cow mutilations. I always wondered about that. And she said, you heard what she said in that? It's the humans who are working. They don't realize that they're working with the bad reptilians. And guys, if anybody hasn't listened to the trailer Tears, please go listen to it. I beg you, please. It's gonna open your mind. And it's crazy in it how they explain that the humans being in league with and not knowing that they're working for the dark side. And they explain the cow mutilations, and they say that what they do is it has to do, man. It's just wild knowledge. How they say that if you look, they cut the meat from certain parts of the cow, because just as though we have left and right hemisphere, the right is spiritual, the left is logical, feminine, masculine, it's the same thing. So when they want to figure out how to mess with our consciousness, they do it with the meat. They inject things into the cow, and then they see how it messes with the cow. So they know when we eat it, how it's going to mess with us. And then they say, that's why eating, like, certain parts of the meat, whatever, but we wouldn't know that. But it's crazy, the levels they go through in order to mess with people. The next thing she says in her book too, which was fascinating to me, is that when people get abducted, and when they there are two types of abductions that go on. She said there are the ones that are humans pretending to be aliens, and then they have the ones that are like literal, the gray aliens. And she says with the gray aliens, they don't make you feel afraid. It's calm and it's peaceful. Like anytime people get abducted, it's the humans who are being led by the reptilians, who do all the atrocious things to the people, who make the people feel scared and make up. Then the other one that she explained that blew my mind. They don't have
to abduct people. They're doing experiments on you right in your own fucking house. They don't have to take you out of your house to do experiments on you. 99.9% of the cases where Greys are fucking with people, they're not being actually abducted. They can come in and set up a laboratory in your house and you won't even know, because you're out of phase with it. It's in the 4D astral. How are you going to see their lab? They can set it up and perform experiments on you and your family for months, and nobody will even be the wiser. So I mean, the reason that people don't feel fear sometimes with some of these Greys is because some of the Greys aren't bad.
Exactly, that's what she was explaining.
Because they are trying to do some healing work on some of either their star seeds or star seeds in general. Because the reticulans, they're a programmed race, right? They're kind of like drones. They're not good. They're not evil. They're just doing a job.
And the thing with the Greys too, I will say, listening to what she said, listening to Sarah, she says that the Greys, we the ones that they come to work on, it is not a matter of violated, Michelle. It is big. Those ones, we have a soul contract with them. And when they come to work, and people sometimes too, we have their DNA. So basically they say that, remember, we're made up of like 22 different DNA star races. So the people who we have their DNA for a reason here on Earth. So what they do is they come to take checks on us to see, how their DNA is what would you say?
I'm not disavowing it. I just think that is a very romanticized, very small percentage of the people that are actually dealing with grays. There's 165 different types of grays that come here and are messing with people. And the ones that I deal with, the ones that I see in my work, are the ones that are making children sick and giving people cancer and going and putting devices in people's heads and doing really, really fucked up stuff to humans. So, I mean, this is why I'm like, I'm taking that with a grain of salt there, because honestly, there's so much that we don't know about as humans because we aren't really able to perceive what is going on around us at all times. Just this morning, Michael Sala, who is quite a well-known person in the New Age community, was sharing a post about somebody named Dave. I don't even know who this Dave person is, who's apparently channeling a Pleiadian. He claims to be channeling a Pleiadian. But this channeling session that he shared, he claimed that there are very few reptilians on Earth and that they're all turning nice. That's what he said. And I was like, bullshit.
So, hold on. Something must be wrong with me. How come I'm never channeling anybody?
Bullshit. Bullshit.
Laura, what's wrong with me? Why? How come, I need somebody to channel to? Hey, people up there. Hey, aliens.
Be careful what you wish for, Loy.
That's true. I don't want to channel anybody. I tell you what, Laura.
Turning nice, apparently. Also, the one that just committed that guy to commit suicide last week, he must have been a rare one, right? Even though I'm finding them on everybody right now. There's Lizzie nests everywhere. There's they basically said, everybody out of the tunnels, get up there, harass somebody, or go make babies. That's what they said. There are more Lizzies around right now than ever before. So for somebody to say that they're rare and that most of them are nice, I laugh for 5 minutes. Like bullshit. Fucking
Jesus.
liar.
People are, listen, man, people will do.
People say whatever.
I'm not a Bible person. I'm not really a Bible person, but Christ, Yeshua had said it in the last day. Everybody gonna be a prophet. Everybody out here gonna be, everybody gonna be a prophet. Everybody gonna be trying to, man, people.
They don't know who they're channeling. They don't know how to check for imposter soul guides. And if you're just going to channel without checking, a Lizzie's going to come in there. I guarantee. He's going to be like, I'm a Pleiadian. And they're going to come in and tell you so much bullshit. And you're not even going to know you're talking to a fucking lizard. No.
And the other thing I want to say with that too, I feel like, you see, you're doing this type of work, other than just talking to, spiritual people, I feel like people need to also, geez, Laura, that's for the entire Earth.
This is my Cheech and Chong smudge. Remember that video? Was it Up in Smoke where he's like pulls out this little tiny rinky dink doobie and he's like, Cheech is like doing this and he's like, and then Chong is like, I got you, don't worry. So that's why I call it this.
So I feel, Laura, that people who are in this type of work, they should be doing not just listen to the spiritual side, but they need to be doing physical research on Earth. They need to be researching, reading, going into things, because you can't just sit saying, oh, you're channeling, and you're not even sure about anything you're doing. That is crazy, man. Laura, before I forget,
validating your guides, if you have no idea who you're talking to, channeling is very risky. You're lucky they even give you your body back. They could keep it if they wanted to. If you spend that much time channeling a reptilian, you could get body snatched and not even fucking, have no
talking about body. So when I was listening to the book too, something that caught my attention was when she was talking about the crazy people and the schizophrenia, where she says that it's like it comes from how when the government abduct these people and the people start having the memories of it, and then when they start talking about it and they say they're crazy, and she was saying like most times you find that they do it in a bloodline, because whatever they're doing, they're working on a bloodline. And then it's like these people, when they start remembering what happened, they throw them in an institution. It says that they're crazy. Nothing like that ever happened when the people are remembering being abducted and the experiments being done on them.
You want to hear the craziest story I ever got from somebody that messaged me on this page? So
should I brace?
this gentleman messaged me, and some of you might have seen the story because he did post his story underneath this is about 2 years ago. He said that he wakes so he goes to bed at night, and when he goes to bed and he switches back, so you know how you switch to your astral body when you go to sleep, right? So you're in your physical body, then you go to bed and you switch to your astral body and you're astral traveling, right? He doesn't do that. When he goes to sleep, he wakes up in another body. And when he's in that other body, he is in a research laboratory in Canada somewhere. And he has been tortured in that other body repeatedly for months, maybe even years at this point. Where they were experimenting on him and doing all these horrible things to him. So he told me that he went to the police. He figured out what area of Canada he was in because he would remember things from his dream state. He said it was as real as if he was awake in his other body. And then he found out he got cloned. So they cloned him. And so his consciousness jumped between himself, his normal body, and his clone. And when he goes into that other body, he's held in this facility and he can't leave. And he can't stop switching back and forth. So he told me that he went to the police and he told them where the facility was. He had 2 police officers that came and talked to him and gathered a story, gathered this whole thing from him, right? So he goes, and that night, he's back in his other body in the one in the facility, and the same 2 officers that came to their house came to that facility and beat his ass in the facility. The same 2 that came to his house to visit his vessel number 1 came and beat him up as vessel number 2.
I bet you those officers are reptilians playing as officers.
He was, I mean, it's the craziest story ever. But the more I talked to him, the more I believed him because of how much he was absolutely convinced that this was real and it was happening.
It is.
Who knows what the government is doing to people?
Man, it's listen, Laura. And the thing is, when people like us talk about this, everybody else says we're crazy, we're loony, we're wild. But listen, the stuff they did to me these days,
Brittany, nothing. He disappeared. I can't get a hold of him. I would have helped him.
Of course, he's gonna disappear, Laura.
He disappeared.
Yeah, because he's letting the masses know what's going on. He's leaking information. They can't have him like a loose cannon. In their mind, he's a loose cannon out here. He can't be out here because he's gonna put people on to what's going on. But I will say this. From what I've, seen myself, like when I do like my regressions or whatever, what I've seen in Atlantis too, listening to like hypnosis and so, the stuff that's going on now, it's literally just mirroring the same kind of crazy things that they were.
Atlantis, 12th that we're repeating history, 100%. Mm-hmm. Yep. And history is going to keep repeating until people start learning their history. So no offense, Bradley. Bradley doesn't like history because it's fake.
I love.
But this is why it's important to learn different versions of the history so you can kind of fill in the blanks and figure out which goes which. Because much of what, even in the history books, we end up repeating the same shit. We're in cycles all the time.
Yeah. Listen, what did Solomon say? Nothing new under the sun. However long ago, Solomon said, ain't nothing new under the sun. Anything that we are doing now, we've done it already. Yeah. And I tell you what, some of the times I feel like we keep repeating it to try to make it better. These people, that's what they do. They keep repeating stuff. Like they do an experiment and it didn't work. Okay, let's keep refining it.
I had a dream once that I accessed the underweb, I called it. And I was like, underweb? That's what they were talking about. I said, underweb. And they said, yeah, the web that existed back in Atlantis. The Atlantean internet still exists. Mm-hmm. And I was like, what? They had internet back in Atlantis? And they're
yes,
like,
Laura.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to understand it. It's in a different language anyway, but it exists. And I had this whole elaborate dream of being able to tune in, but I didn't understand any of the languages. I could only understand the imagery, and I was trying to piece it together like fucking hieroglyphics.
So, Laura, back then in Atlantean times, and these 2 people, I will say this, Atlantean wasn't just a civilization. Atlantean was a worldwide civilization. It wasn't one city. Atlantis itself was the main city, but they had whatever. They're
all over, yes.
All over.
Egypt was known as Khem. Sarah
yes.
in her book, A Hypnotist Journey to the Sphinx. And it
talks that's why like. But other than that, Laura, the Africans have always called the land up there, even before I heard.
Sahara, where the Sahara is, the Eye of Sahara was another one of those Atlantean colonies. There's many more that sunk beneath the waves. There was probably 70 major civilizations that sunk. And we know we know two.
Something that's fascinating. Something that's fascinating about it that I learned was that not only did they have they knew how to use the ether, they knew how to use electricity that's naturally in the air, and also not only did they have Wi-Fi, Laura, they had electricity without poles and all of these things, because what they did was that was one of the reasons of the pyramid. The pyramids are multidimensional. They do a lot of things. But if you notice, see, we are finding pyramids all over the earth, and they all are pyramid shaped. And see, the Chichen Itza, not Chichen Itza, geez.
I'll show you a picture.
Yeah, Chichen Itza. I think Chichen Itza, they found mercury underneath it, and mercury has to do with electricity, like doing whatever with electricity. But from what I have understood is that they had electricity worldwide. And it was all from how they pull it out of the air. Like they knew how to do inverters or whatever to take the ether out of the air and use it.
You saw those?
Oh yeah.
You know those? Those are
Yes.
found all over the Caribbean. They're giant. There's some of them are really small. Some of them they're just stone spheres, right? This is Costa Rica. These stone spheres are found all over the Caribbean and all over Central America. And I asked the guides about them one day because I was very curious. I wanted to know what the stone spheres were, because some of them are only this big and some of them are so big, they're bigger than a fucking Volkswagen. Like they're massive spheres, right? And they're all they're not perfectly round, but they're close enough, right? So guess what they were? I'm curious if anybody knows what they were. They're special stones. Yes, it's a very special type of stone to make those. And they only used one type of stone.
Granite.
Just guess what they were for. Guess what the purpose was. Most people get it wrong, because I got it fucking wrong. I had no idea.
I'm trying to guess what.
They were lights.
Ah,
You could charge them with high frequency and they glow.
hold on. In the Atlantean book,
the big ones were where they would mark in public squares. The big ones would be lining the public squares, and you could have light. And then the small ones were carried on people individually. They were like street lamps. Exactly, Summer.
Laura, though that connects with listening to, again, Sarah's book, the Atlantis one, when they were asking, in Atlantis, how was the light? And she was saying, it's just in the wall. It's just in the stone.
Everywhere,
like there's
everywhere. Light was everywhere. Yep.
And it didn't need charge, and it didn't need anything to plug in. It was like she was saying, it's just a stone. It's just in the wow.
Yep.
Ah.
Because I was curious. I was like, they're everywhere. And you'd see them. I saw them in Costa Rica because I spent a few months in Costa Rica and I saw them everywhere. And people would make no big deal about them. They would just leave them on the side of the road like it was nothing. And that's probably been on the side of the road for thousands of years. That's how travelers probably kept traveling. They'd just be walking down the road with rocks that glow. They emit the certain high frequencies. But then again, if you go to Adam's calendar, we were just talking about before, if you go there, their rocks are also very special. In fact, they were brought from, some of which were thousands of miles away, quarries from thousands of miles away. You can't find those particular rocks in that area. They would bring them there. Same with Stonehenge. They had different they had specific stones from faraway quarries that they brought. So every single stone, specific purpose for it, has to have a certain frequency and a certain
electromagnetic frequency.
Exactly.
What was fascinating, Laura, was when I was researching about like the stone circles and so, and I found out that the word entrance, it comes from the stone circles, because it comes from the word trance. So when you go into the stone circle, you basically put you in a trance. It changes the electromagnetic frequency in your body. And I was like, damn. And they say, yeah, that's why they have them in like circles, and where they're at specific ley line spots in the earth where the electromagnetic frequency is way stronger than outside. So what they do, what the stones actually do is like
creative energy.
It's like corralling. So what the stones do, in the circle, it's like they corral that energy, and they concentrate the energy, so to say, in that space. So when you go in that space, when you go in there, oh, Michelle, that's the lady, Laura. Michelle, I was telling Laura, that's the person who doing the reading I was doing the reading for her, the Adam's calendar. And I will say,
How was
guys, one of
it?
the most, her reading
No, I'm
was,
going to Adam's calendar. I was telling Charisse, Chantal, Charisse, Michelle, Raquel, all of you guys, if you want to come to Adam's calendar with me, I'll take you on a tour. I'm going the last week of January, spending a whole week in the bush, last week of January. From
Laura.
the 19th to the 26th. So if you guys are able to come to the bush from the 19th to the 26th, hit me up.
What was fascinating, what I loved with Michelle's reading, so it was a Akashic Records, and at the end of it, I felt the need, like, I should pull you some tarot cards. Like, I kept feeling that feeling, so I pulled for one of my deck. So when I took up the deck, 3 cards came out, the Nine of Swords. I don't remember what this, but I know the Nine of Swords was there, was the first card. And when I saw it, as soon as I saw the card, it's like I heard in my head, Loy, look in your other tarot deck. You need to show her the cardinal. You need to show her the cardinal, because the 9, I have 2 tarot decks. So one, they're different. So when I looked for my cat deck with the 9 of Swords, I just felt like I had to show it to her. When I held it up and I said, they say I need to show you this. And I had to show her the cardinal. She says, Loy, guess what?
Yeah.
Before the session, I asked my guides to show me a cardinal. and I say this guy.
For those of you who don't know, every time I see a cardinal, I think of Dolores. Love her.
I saw, you know what, Michelle, yesterday, 2 things happened yesterday. So yesterday, I went out to the front door. When I went out to the front door, there was I didn't have my phone to get that one. There was a cardinal in the tree right above the front door. So I came inside, I took my phone up, and for some reason I heard, go into the backyard, like, go into the backyard. So I came in, got my phone, went into the backyard. There was a monarch butterfly. You know how long I haven't seen a butterfly? And it stayed there for like 3 minutes, and I took photos, I took videos, I got really up close to it. And then it's like, before it flew off, its back was turned to me like the way it was. And before it flew off, it spun right around. I felt like it looked into my eyes, Laura, and then flew off. But the cardinal thing, man, with what's her name, I actually absolutely love stuff like that. And yes. to me, that's how the universe lets you know when you're doing a session.
Yes. You know what's funny, Loy, the other day, and I told this on the podcast the other day, but I'm still really chuffed about it. Adriana was telling me a story about how someone she loved would give her flowers every year for her birthday. But then sadly, this person passed away, and she was very upset and missed that person a great deal. But she still ended up getting flowers on her birthday, the exact same kind that this gentleman would buy for her. And at first she was a bit like, whoa, what? Did he send these? And she looked, and it was a friend of hers that has never sent her flowers before, who was a mutual friend of that person. And he implanted the thought to send her flowers. So she still got her birthday flowers. So the other day I'm walking out of the grocery store with my groceries. This woman walks up to me and she's like, here you go, and hands me a bouquet of flowers. And I was like, why? What's for? And she goes, just because. And she walked off. Mm-hmm. And I was like, what the hell? And I thought of my soul guide when that happened. Like, the minute she handed him to me, I thought of one of my guides. And then I was like, no, they can't send you flowers. Like, I'm crazy. I get home, I say something to Adriana. All the guys, they were like, oh yeah, 100%. He's feeling really proud of himself right now that he was. It was Adriana telling him that he could even do that, telling her own story, that he was like, oh, let me see if I can try that. And 2 days later, I get flowers. And I was like, holy shit.
Yep. I can give you.
Do that. Literally manifest things physically. These are the flowers, by the way.
And Laura, you're talking about flowers again. I have another one. So this was about 2025, the end of it. This was about last year, maybe early this year or late last year in the same time. But I had this lady, and her husband had passed away, and she was like, really, I don't really do mediumship, because I tell people I'm the type of person who I don't like, for me, doing mediumship, it's just they pop in. I don't go looking for them. I don't go calling out looking for them. So if I'm doing a reading, they come in. So I'm doing the reading, and at the end of the reading again, and these things always happen at the end of the reading. So at the end of the reading, I just saw a hand literally like just come out in front of me. Like it's like it came down in front of the computer, and it had a bouquet of sunflowers. And I'm like, he says to give you these sunflowers. And I'm sitting, I'm here in the call line. And then she started crying, and she called her daughter. Once she heard me say sunflowers, tears started streaming, and she says, I have to show you this. I can't even say. And she called her daughter. Her daughter spun around. Her daughter had a sunflower tattoo in her back that she got the week before. And then she started explaining the sunflowers to me. She says when they met, the first place that he took her on a date, her and her daughter, was a sunflower field, and he always called her his sunflower. And she was struggling like for 6 months. Like he died like 6 months before, and she was struggling. And he just gave me that, and he said, hand her, and he didn't give me any explanation. He said, hand her this. Another time, this was in 2022. I went to an office to go to a meeting with somebody, and as soon as I went in the office, as soon as I literally crossed the threshold, I started tasting gumbo. I started tasting like somebody's feeding me gumbo.
See, that's the kind of message from spirit I want.
Yeah, like literally, Laura, as soon as I get in the office, I couldn't even sit down. It's like I just had this feeling like somebody feeding me. And Laura, it was the best thing. I never taste gumbo like that. So I'm sitting there and I'm saying to her, I don't know how to say it because I didn't know how this lady was. So I'm there and I'm like, ma'am, please don't say I'm crazy. Please don't send me to the loony bin. But there is a lady here feeding me gumbo. She started crying again. And she says, it's my grandmother. And I said to her, she says, you're not paying. And I heard in my head tell her that she's not paying attention. I've been trying to get her attention. She's not paying attention. And then I felt like feathers were falling on me, like even a bed of feathers. And I said, you've been getting feathers lately? And she says, every single morning for the last 3 weeks, there's a white feather on her doorstep as she opened her door. But she didn't believe in this type of stuff. So she just, and the grandmother was, you see,
like knock on the door and be like, hey, I'm here, for people to notice sometimes.
And another one again, I was doing this reading, and the lady, she was talking about their family has people that, how would I put, I don't want to use the word unalive, if you get what I mean. Yeah. They do that. Yeah. And so she was telling me about one member of the family, like, who did that. And then all of a sudden she's doing it. There's this dove, this huge dove just over her head. Like, I'm looking at the column over her. The dove is doing like this. And so I'm like, there's a dove above your head. And she started crying again. She held up her foot. There was a dove tattoo on her foot. And the dove tattoo was for her son. Her son was like saying to her, hey, you're talking about him. Don't worry, I'm here. I'm here. So another one.
Ask, you don't get. It's better to give signs. Like I said to my guy the other day, you know, I have different numbers depending on different things. And I told him, you know, just show me twos. Twos can be one of our signs. I started seeing twos everywhere. Like, if you don't ask, you don't get. And so if you ask for a specific sign, like a cardinal, for example, you will see one. And some people will gaslight you and they'll say, well, now that you're fixated on cardinals, you're going to see them everywhere. No, that's not how this works. They will start to show you signs, but you have to set an intention or they're not going to know what sign to give you. And yeah,
exactly.
Do feathers and numbers and things like that. But you can ask for very specific signs and they will give them. You want to hear something funny? Last night,
know what, this
we're chatting about this, and we were chatting about my guide last night about all this. And Bradley and I, as we're driving, Bradley sees a Highlander on the back of a truck.
Laura.
And I was like, fuck off. How do you do that? Like, as we're talking about him, we see a Highlander on the back of a truck. Like, that's just how impressive they are and how good they are at showing signs. But if you're not paying attention, you're going to miss them.
I have to see if I can find this thing to show you. So, and it's too funny enough. When I moved to where I'm living now, I don't always I'll be honest, I haven't watched TV in months, but I was cooking one day, and while I was cooking, I was like, you know what, let me just turn the TV on, just for background noise. So I turned the TV on, and then the pot was simmering, so I had a little bit of time, and I was like, all right, I'm going to sit here. And as soon as I go, it was, I'm always watching documentaries and anything to do with, ancient earth and so. So while I'm watching it, and I have to find this photo to show you, while I'm watching it, and this was about a place I'm pretty sure it's in Thailand. It's close to Angkor Wat, one of those places. And Laura, they're saying they found some cave art from how many thousand years ago. In the cave art, it's an orange thing in the cave art, LOY. I had to stop the TV. I was like, And guys, while I'm here, I am gonna
I
go.
signed your name a long time ago.
Yeah, it was like, and they were saying that this cave art was made how many thousand years ago, and like whenever they discovered it, and on the cave art. So then my mentorship client, I was talking to her and I sent it to her, and the same evening she goes to do volleyball, and she was going to go do volleyball. When she pulled up, the license plate in front of her said LOY. When she pulled up, Laura, the license plate said, and I have the photos. I'm gonna have to find them and send them.
The easiest things for them to manipulate is traffic, because traffic is a lot of NPCs. So if the NPC, it's energy coming and going, that is something they can easily manipulate. So you'll see, like we were joking around, we got to Salem and how Bradley's guide Sam shows us 4s everywhere. And we were joking around about how 4, like he put 444 on license plate. And we were talking about it. And as we're discussing it, we see a car pull up in front of us and the car said 4 yes 444. And we're like, fuck off. Like, how fucking obvious. It says 4 yes 444. like, how did you, as we're talking about it.
Please.
It's impressive how they can do this. I don't know how they do it. But then again, to our feeble human brains, we're like, whoa.
I'm trying to get I found a photo.
If everything is a hologram, then you start to understand how they can do shit like this. You know, one of the questions I asked the other day, it was when I got the flowers. I was like, can soul guides smell? I'm just curious because they said the grays couldn't smell. I'm like, can they smell? And they're like, do you remember how you said like you tasted gumbo, but it was like spirit gumbo? So it's not as profound as if you were tasting the real thing, but you can get that. Every once in a while, I smell roses or I'll smell tobacco or I'll smell something in my house. And I'm like, is that spirit? You know? And it's a very sense. It's like it's in the background. It's like an afterthought kind of a smell. That is how they smell. They can smell too, but it's very like, yeah, it's exactly the same, but different. I want to put it that way.
I found the photo.
I just kind of barely smell what we're smelling and vice versa, if that makes sense.
I don't know if you can see, right? It's right here. Oh, geez, sorry, my thing. Yeah, I don't know why it's not, but I'm gonna send it to you, Laura, so you can see. But man, I saw it and I was like, I don't have to send it to somebody and say, when are you seeing this? Like, I didn't tell them. I just sent the photo and says, look at this, what you see. And the person was like, why is your name etched in the But it is well. And sense of smell, Laura, yes, they do that. A couple of years ago, this was about 10 years ago, I was at one of my friend's house, and while I was there, all of a sudden I started smelling this cherry scented tobacco, but it was, man, it smelled like it was right in front of me. And I was saying to the person, like, you had somebody smoking in here or something? And they were like, no, like, I don't even smoke. And I told them what I was smelling. And the person says that their great grandfather used to smoke cherry tobaccos. I was like, damn.
No way. Cherry tobacco sounds nice, though, actually. As somebody who used to smoke, that sounds tasty. But honestly, I've smelled cigar smoke in my house, too. And I'm like, who the hell is that? And they'll be like, just somebody visiting. And I'm like, my house feels like a fucking bus station. Like, you never know what's going to come and go. And they don't even tell me. They're just like, you had a visitor. He was smoking a cigar. Okay.
Why is my lighter not working?
My favorite thing to smell, though, is roses, because usually that's Mary Magdalene coming in, or the Sophia energy anyway coming in.
I love that. I absolutely love that.
I love it. Whenever I smell strong roses, I know who that was. Yeah.
Look, yeah, like I'm always, and I tell you what, Laura, I use it in everything. Like I buy body oil and I put roses in my body oil. Sometimes I'm making my tea here and I drop a little piece of rose petals in my tea. Like I save them.
Chantal says, I told a stranger I could smell meat, and the person next to them said their grandfather was a butcher.
Yeah, that happens. That absolutely. I tell you what, the sense of smell, and some other times, it can save your life. I used to live at a house, and when I was living there, I kept smelling gas. And even when the gas come, the Fire people came, they couldn't find the gas. The gas people came and they had to send a specialist. And when they sent the specialist, he found a tiny little leak in the hose. And after I was asking my guides, why couldn't anyone smell it? They said that they had me smell it because the other people they were not gonna smell it. And that made that happen to me so that I could save everybody. Because if I didn't smell it and we lit that stove,
figures.
So and also in Jamaica, I remember I want to light this thing and it keeps going out. I want my uncle, his wife had died, and I was at home, like his wife died in the other parish and we lived in another parish. And I was at home one day and it's like I just started smelling this, like this perfume. It's like a florally scent. And when I described it and I was like telling my grandmother was like, that's the perfume his wife was buried in. I'm like, what the hell? If
Sorry,
Laura dies before...
I'm just cracking up at what Bradley said. I'm sorry. Bradley got a lol out of me for that one. If Laura dies before me, I'll smell ganja all the time.
Of course. Me too. Me too.
Bradley, if I die first, I'm haunting your ass. They won't be able to cross me over. I'll be defiant. I'll be like, no. Angel Michael have to come and get my ass. I ain't crossing over yet. I'm gonna harass Bradley a bit.
I think I'm gonna have some fun. Like, I think when I cross over, like, I'll tell you this, guys. If that happens and you feel tickles and laughs, and you're a Jamaican accent,
I'll be doing dishes, and instead of hearing Hermosa, I'll be like, yeah, man.
you hear giggles and laughs. Yeah, it's me. I want to have a little fun here before I go, like. And there's a few people I want to poke as well.
There's a few people I would love to haunt, actually, now that
I want to have a hot rod.
A week. Fergus and I are going to haunt some people for a little while. I want to
I want?
I'm in no rush to get out of here now. So that's fine. We'll just do some harassing.
I want to have a hot rod, a little hot rod that I poke people on the butt with. People that used to annoy me.
So funny.
So, Lara, this that I'm trying to light, this is from Machu Picchu.
I love how your smoke disappears into your filter. That was so funny.
It's absorbing it. It's absorbing the rainbow.
It's literally smudging the astral. Look at it. It's going into the astral to smudge it.
So this is on Machu Picchu. My friends had gone to do the ayahuasca journey, the 3 months journey, and they told the shamans, and the shamans, they blessed it and sent. I have some more pieces when they sent it for me. But yeah, smudge the astral. Where you go?
That's what the guide said, because I was asking, going back to the whole smell thing, and if the guides can smell, I was like, so how does it work with the Lizzies and stuff? They said, well, Lizzies can smell. That's why they don't like it. But when it comes to like the guides and all that, what they don't really know, you don't notice the smell as much if you're a discarnate. What you do tend to notice is the change in vibration that it creates. So you don't even really smell stuff as much as a discarnate. They basically said that for more than anything else, you're just changing the frequency of the space, which is the goal anyway, right? So it's the sage is raising the vibration. I shouldn't say raising, it's clearing the vibration out, and the Palo Santo raises the vibration back up. So that's why some people don't like the smell of sage, but they love the smell of Palo Santo, because sage is the cleanser, Palo Santo is the lifter. So
I know somebody who... You know what? I should have known they were demon possessed. It's so funny whenever I show you. I know somebody, if you burn this anywhere near them, they start going crazy. It's like they can't stand it. They can't. And I mean, I used to be like,
he doesn't like it.
And you know what? That person is highly, highly abusive. When I say like misogynist, like they can't stand.
Yes.
Not like this. And talking about smells, I don't know if anybody else has this, but you ever be out in a crowd and it's weird. I can sometimes tell who people are by just their smell. Like I'm in a crowd and somebody walks by me and I get a smell, I can be like, oh Lord. It's like I get a smell, and then the smell just gives me I feel like the smell gives me a whiff of their vibration. Like, and I don't mean it's like
that's exactly
it's not like perfume or anything. It's like their natural smell. I smell it, and immediately, like I feel like they say your hackles go up. I feel like
I can literally go into a building and know if it's haunted just by smelling. now. That's how I'm telling you. I can smell reptilians. They have a very specific, it's almost like a musky smell.
I was gonna say they smell like
They smell like lizards, honestly. If you ever had a pet lizard,
I was gonna say snakes. I was gonna say snakes.
They smell like a musky old lizard. Yes, that is what they smell like. And every time I smell one, I'm like, like, you know what I mean? Like, my defenses are on point. And if I'm walking past somebody with a Lizzie on them, I can smell it now. You know how I know? Because I walked.
Maybe that's what I'm smelling.
And I was smelling them everywhere I went through Walmart.
So maybe that's what I'm smelling because I tell you what, it happened Saturday. Saturday I went to go get my hair cut and get my nails done. And when I was walking down the street, this man passed me. And when he passed me, man, I felt like I wanted to throw up. I felt my body.
It's a vibration change. When you have a rapid change in vibration, that's when you feel the nausea. Yes.
And the person the smell that I got from him reminded me of I used to have this friend who catch snakes, and when I used to go to his house, like go to visit him and his girlfriend, I stayed on the veranda because for some reason, even though the snake was all the way in the kitchen, I could smell. It had a smell, and it was just like I can't stand it. And when that person passed me,
very distinct smell, and they have that throughout. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's like lizard pheromones or some shit. I don't fucking know, but I do know the smell you're talking. I used to have iguanas and snakes. I had a pet snake. I know that smell. So I
maybe you know what, Laura? They were grooming you from then to smell the lizards. That's why you hunt them.
I know, so I can hunt lizzies like a bloodhound.
You see, you were in training. You were in training.
I've been in training for lifetimes for this shit. But it's funny too, because honestly, you know, when it comes to these signs, there's always little red flags. And the more subtle you tend to notice them, the faster you can call in your gatekeeper and get them out. Because if you don't ask, your gatekeeper is not going to bounce them. So you have to ask every single morning, hi, gatekeeper, can you please clear me and make sure that nothing attaches to me that is not from the highest of light? Only beings of the highest of light are welcome near me, period.
Incoming. I'm trying to find a lighter.
If you don't ask, you don't get. So every single one of you should be asking your gatekeepers. This is the one thing that I was trying to hammer into other people and was not really adhering to myself. I was just kind of expecting them to do it. It wasn't working. You have to ask. And every single day, I've been asking for weeks. I've only had one psychic attack in 3 weeks because I've been asking every single morning and every single night.
So what I do when I get up in the mornings, you know, when I say thank you for waking me up, whatever, I always ask just the same protection and, you know, keep me covered throughout the day. And I always ask them to make sure that I have the most benevolent outcome in whatever I do, whatever is going on for me. So I saw something up here. Hold on.
Jessica, I would get a house clearing. If your daughter comes home and has been nausea on and off all week, I'm telling you that get a clearing. Children are especially sensitive to energies. Jessica says, I don't think I have a gatekeeper. Every single person has a gatekeeper. You wouldn't be
all do
on this planet incarnated right now if you didn't have a gatekeeper.
we wouldn't hunt?
No, you would not be here right now if you didn't have a gatekeeper.
Sarah's story. I like what you said. You said animals can smell sickness and even cancer. And this reminds me of, is it World War Z? There's this movie where the zombies, the healthy people, it's like if you're sick, if you have a certain disease, if you have something going on, like, so something, I think it's World War Z. Is it World War Z?
World War Z, yeah.
Yeah, where the zombies is like, they know.
That movie pissed me off. The propaganda in that movie. I mean, don't get me wrong. I actually don't mind zombie movies. They're of all the horror movies, they're the ones that bother me the least. But the propaganda, like the scene where they're singing together, like in Palestine, and all of like the Jews and everybody comes together. Everybody comes together and they're singing and they're trying to express peace, and then they end up getting killed because all the zombies hear them singing. On top of each other, and then the city falls. So they tried to express that peace is what's going to destroy the city. Like, fuck you. Sorry, that triggered me. But
yeah, I know.
Anyway, but yeah, there's a lot of stuff in these movies that is put in there for a reason.
Oh my Lord. Danielle, behave yourself. Danielle says, okay, who smells like lizard?
Uh-huh.
Daniel, how you know what a lizard smell like? You've been sniffing lizards' butts, Daniel? Daniel, is that your king?
Daniel Jackson. We're not talking about Goulds here, Daniel Jackson.
Somebody had said my smudging mantra, so let me just do it before this thing goes out. With the smoke, I cleanse this place. I banish negativity, every single trace. Let the light of the divine fill the sacred space. Only love, light, and peace shall it embrace. With the smoke, I cleanse this place. I banish negativity, every single trace. Let the light of the divine fill the sacred space. Only love, joy, and peace shall it embrace. And finally, because I like to do things in trees, with the smoke, I cleanse this place. I banish negativity, every single trace. Let the light of the divine fill the sacred space. Only love, joy, and peace shall it embrace. So, Laura, we're going to readings today because, I come in here. I can't
I
not
would
come
love
in
to do a
here.
reading, but first I want to share your promo.
Oh, I forgot.
I
guys,
honestly, I've been having so much fun chatting with you today, Loy. I forgot about it. So
you know what? We're raising the
we are doing
vibration.
a little fundraiser, a little GoFundMe. Just explain what happened, honey, please.
So, guys, the Hurricane Melissa that went through Jamaica, my family was in the direct part of it, and probably about 70% of my family is homeless now. I have family members that lost everything, like house blown away. I had some photos. There's photos and videos on my Facebook of it, but I can show you. But basically, I have family that Melissa took everything from them. Some of them are so traumatized. One of my uncles was in his house when it was being blown away with him. Like, he don't know the pieces of his house. There's nothing for him to pick up because it's like everything is gone. Everything is it's destroyed. And so I created a GoFundMe. You have the link, Laura?
I have the link. I'm getting it right now. I was just scrolling.
Alrighty. So what I did is I created a GoFundMe.
Shared. So if you guys want to see the devastation a little bit, I just
there's a video there that shows, like, just basically nothing left. He can't even, when I talked to him last week Saturday, because even though I can't hardly talk to them because there's no electricity. It's so badly damaged. There's no electricity, there's no cell phone, there's nothing. So I have to wait until like they get into the town. And we live 7 miles outside of the town. So my son had to be walking. The first time he got to me, he had to walk the 7 miles from where we live into the town, and then one of the fire station has a Starlink, and they allow people to connect to it, so that's how we communicate with them. It's when I say it's devastating, it is. I have been in Jamaica.
Just a few dollars, that really helps. It all adds up. So anything at all that you can donate, we'd be very
thank you. And I will say, guys, I was born in 1984. I've lived through every hurricane between 1984 to this one, and I've never seen my grandparents were born in 1938. They've been through so many hurricanes. And when my son told me that my grandparents were hugging each other, I feel like they were gonna die, like the house was gonna get blown away with. And the house was a concrete house. That's how bad it was. The photos they sent me, otherwise, if I didn't know my community, Laura, I wouldn't know it. Like, if I go back to Jamaica now, I'd probably drive past my house and not know that it's my house, because everything around it, everything. Then I was crazy. People went to go shelter in the school. The entire school, the school top just blew away. Only the walls are left. Like, I've never, ever, ever seen so much devastation like this one was.
I saw a post last night that they said this is the very first year in history, in recorded history anyway, and they've been recording weather history for a very long time, that we had an F5 tornado, what do they call level 5 hurricane, and
no, this is gonna be a level 6. They're saying that this one
was level 6
is supposed to change. Yeah, NOAA is supposed to change
it. T5 storms, the geomagnetic storms that we're getting are unprecedented right now. So we are getting
typhoon in the Philippines as well too. It's just like
the weather that we're getting right now is unprecedented, and I think a lot of it is because Gaia is waking up.
Mm-hmm.
She is,
and I will say it too, man. It's right now the death toll in Jamaica is at about 45, and every day it's raising, and so even places that were like flooded and the water goes down, They're finding bodies. Like there's so many communities now, even outside of mine, there's so many communities that are like, if you see, man, spring. There is a part now in somewhere in St. Elizabeth where, and this place is so far from the ocean, and ocean water is coming up. And when you look, all the houses are covered. These people can't go back there. And so the people from America went and they tested and they said it's straight salt water. So whatever cracked, whatever the hurricane cracked, that's how much to me it shook the land. Because my son said that when they were in the house, the house my grandparents live in, it's concrete. It's a concrete structure. My son says while they were in it, they said it felt like an earthquake because the house was going like this while the storm was going on. And then in places in Jamaica, they were saying, like the salt water is starting to come up. So I really feel like the hurricane cracked the land.
Wow.
So thank you guys. Anything, any donation, anything at all, I really, really appreciate. And Laura,
I'll drop it again, Matt. It's right there, and I'll also share it on my page. In fact, I think I got Loy's post. I'm just gonna reshare it. I'll share this in the group.
It was Chantal. When I say like what I'm gonna try to do is once things get I need to figure out some sort of trauma counseling for them, because just even my son, my son that stayed with my grandparents, when I talk to him, he's frazzled. Even though he's like, Mommy, me never afraid in my life. My son cried. My 23-year-old son cried tears, and he says he's never been so scared in his life. And he said this scared wasn't even for him so much, but his grandparents, like being there and seeing everything that's going on and wondering, like, is this gonna take them? It's my son said when he came out, he said when he started walking and seeing the destruction, he sat. No, I never heard my son cry. I never heard my 23-year-old son cry. My son cried tears. Then the other crazy thing is, I would say this, guys, food is going to be short for them. So something that I'm going to be doing, and a few people have reached out to me and they said that I'm going to try to send a barrel for them, like food stuff, because food is going to be short. Food is already short there. Like my son, they go to the supermarket and he says that there's nothing. Right now, the Prime Minister is saying that they're going to have to import vegetable, every food stuff, because the bread basket of Jamaica was destroyed. And while we're saying this, even though it's doom and gloom, just to give you guys a little bit of history, because I'm a history buff. So the place where it hit directly, St. Elizabeth, it hit where I was born. It destroyed the hospital where I was born. So I was born in Black River. Now, Black River is one of the first places in the Caribbean we had, before America was even a thing, we had the first electricity. So the first place in the Northern Hemisphere to get electricity was Black River. The next thing was, we had the first train. We had the first water, piped water. But you know what's crazy too? And this is sad. Project 2030 or Vision 2030. Anybody heard about that?
No,
it's a smart city.
Oh, 2030 smart cities. Yes. I have heard about that. That's what a lot of this is. And Jamaica has been taken over by billionaires. They've been the Jamaicans have very little access to the beaches, for example, right now.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know this. They've bought up all the beaches, and they're locals who have been fishing off of those beaches for thousands of years. Some of them, especially
the last one.
They have been cut off from accessing the ocean. They have to sometimes travel an hour to have beach access because all these resorts have bought up all the beaches.
And Lara,
this is what happens in Maui. Same thing to Maui. Maui got burned to the ground so they could turn it into a fucking resort.
So you see, I'm pointing at myself when you say that. So I am the prime example of that. So I'm from a little, even though I was born in Black River, my family is from Hanover. I grew up in a little place called Lucy. So in Lucy, when I was growing up, we had so many public beaches we could go to. One of the ones I used to love going to is where they shot Cool Runnings. So there's a place, and when you watch a Cool Runnings movie, the beaches beyond there that we could go. Now, the Grand Palladium, the Spanish group, the Palladium group, they bought the entire piece, and we can't go there anymore. We can't go.
It's repeating itself.
Yeah, so the next one now is they tried to sell Bob Marley. This was the biggest thing, or it's one of the biggest things in Jamaica now. I mean, Ocho Rios, Bob Marley Beach, where Bob Marley's family, he left that piece of beach like they owned it, and he says that should never be commercialized. That piece of beach should always be for the people. And guess what? They're trying to sell it. It's a whole thing. But the other thing that's going on that a lot of people don't know, and I don't want to say too much on here because it's a public platform, but there is a diplomatic between, how did I put it? That Far East country, that big red country down in the Far East and here. I don't know if you guys get what I'm saying.
Mhm.
The big red country down in the Far East.
I know.
Oh, let me call names. Hong Kong and
Yeah.
Saigon City. Yeah,
They're
there's a
devastating South Africa too. They're coming through and they're causing all kinds of problems with what they buy up. And they're doing the same thing in Grenada. We saw this in Grenada when I went to visit. They're buying up big chunks of Grenada.
But other than that, Laura, that's the front of it. But I will say the huge part of it, me and you got to talk about this after. I don't want to say certain things on here, but what I was just saying to you with that big red country and the blue one, if you get what I mean, this blue one here, is a lot of diplomatic stuff because the big red country is putting in billions in infrastructure, and the blue country is like, fuck no, we don't. What are you doing? Like, and then if you understand otherwise, then we could let's use the color black now. Then we use the black one, the one that's the Ural Mountains are in. If you get what I mean, I don't want to call names, people, but remember the country that's above Jamaica is communist. Mm-hmm. And it's aligned with the other ones, and so the big blue country
governments are aligned at this point.
Yes, what I'm saying.
You got taken out with a coup, you know.
The big blue country doesn't like the other one, you know.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
They don't want the red country from over the seas to come and take over a little land of wood and water. Again, I say, guys, it's all diplomatic. It's all a lot of, and to understand this,
it's all part of the show.
So understand this, you got to understand the politics of land, wood, and water from in the 60s, 70s, when we got independent. Put it this way.
So it's important to help them rebuild at this point, because if they don't, somebody else is going to try and take it.
Yup, and I've been telling, like, one of the things I've been telling people, and I told my aunt, we have land, and I tell them, do not sell any of the land, because a lot of that is coming. A lot of that.
Well, this is not new. You know what they used to say? If there's blood on the land, buy property. That was a thing. And who do you think started the blood on the land in the first place?
Of course.
They do it on purpose. And now they do it with weather modification through things like HARP and opening sky portals and all kinds of shit. There was a flood that happened in Nepal. One of the villages that people have been traveling to. It's a very remote village in Nepal, up in the Hindu Kush Mountains, and it was wiped off the map, like literally flooded. It was like a flood of water came down on the mountain and washed the entire village away. And so the village has been there for thousands of years, and there were people across the ridge filming as it happened, and you watch the whole village. Hundreds of houses wash away in an instant. And I asked the guides how it happened. I even showed them the video. I was like, what is this? How did this happen? They said they opened a sky portal.
They did that over Jamaica too. The water,
just sending water. If you open a sky portal with water into an area where there's water, you will literally create like a deluge of water coming through. And that's exactly so they can do that. So
my son, who doesn't understand, like I try to explain things, but you know, they don't get the full. And my son said to me, something's wrong, because he said the amount of rain that they saw fall, he says there was more wind. But then he says the water on the ground is like he couldn't understand where all this flooding coming from, because
they keep doing it. They did it in Texas, they did it in North Carolina.
So
the trick that works.
Something that's crazy. I don't know if anybody will see this, but with the hurricane with Jamaica. So I'm going to use my mouse. I'm going to use this mouse. I'll say this is Jamaica. And this is the hurricane. So the hurricane was coming like this. It came off the coast of Africa. And it was coming like this. And it was going like this. And it's going like this under Jamaica. You see, as soon as it gets to a certain part, I mean, the hurricane did a 90-degree.
It pushed right in there. And then it stacked. It's one thing, it went into it, and then it just sat there.
Yeah, it was doing like this, and then it was like, you know what? And then it just sat here like and took its time going over the land, like. And I'm like, man, if this isn't manipulated stuff, this is. I've never like, how can a hurricane? You have a path going this way, and all of a sudden, like, it does a perfect 90-degree turn. It just like
the kind of thing that pisses me off when people like. There's a whole bunch of people today that are commenting and saying all the aurora borealises are HARP and shit. I'm like, no, this is what
this is
HARP
real.
for. This is what they do HARP with. HARP isn't for making pretty fucking colors in the sky. No, HARP is for doing shit like this.
You know what?
How they open the portals.
And you know what? When people want to discredit this type of stuff, they need to go look up the weather patterns from the 70s. That the first place they did this was Vietnam. A lot of people don't know. The very first
Vietnam
place
was an experiment. They wanted to try out all their new toys.
Vietnam was one of the very first places they tried this. And yeah, like people, as I say, people like to talk about all these kind of stuff. You can go look it up. And I hate though when people like, whatever. If you go on Google, you'll see the weather manipulation. If you go on Google, you see the TV manipulation. If you go on it, you see directed energy weapons. Go look that up, guys. And the patterns are all there. You can read all the documents. It's like, but you guys know that these people, they got to put that out there so that it helps to lessen their karma. And one of the things I will say every day that I get up, I declare.
That's 100% true. That's why somebody commented earlier about how if you go to Denver airport, they're making all these jokes about lizards and tunnels. Like literally they'll put up billboards making jokes about how there's reptilians in the tunnels underneath fucking and I'm like, seriously? They're just doing that. They're literally admitting it. And they call us crazy when I'm like, oh, look at the billboard. It's fucking true. And they're like, oh, you're the crackpot.
So hold on. Isn't there another one, Laura, the place where they woke up in the morning and there was this big circular thing like a portal and people are like, what is this? And I saw it. I'm like, you blind? Oh, no, see a portal.
It's a fucking sky portal. We close them all the time. Sky portals are everywhere. So no, this is the level of we're at though, is that some people are going to be able to see behind the veil. You're seeing behind the curtain and they don't want you to see that. So they're going to gaslight you and create all this disinformation and
they don't want
around on the internet everywhere, and everybody's going to pick up on it, is going to be, confused, because that's what they do. They muddy the waters. They want you confused.
Guys, the most powerful thing you have is your sovereignty, and they want to take that from you. You see, when I get up in the morning, every single morning I get up, one of the first things I do is I declare my sovereignty. I'll be like, I'm a sovereign being. Whatever you're doing out here, it will not affect me. You will never take my sovereignty from me. And I tell you the other thing, the most dangerous thing too is an awakened mind. Please read, research, make sure. I'm not saying to take in the stuff on me. I'm not saying to be fearful. I'm not telling anybody out here to be, because knowledge is power. That is why for me, people who know me, you know that I'm always spilling knowledge, because guess what? See how people spend time and watch TV, and so I'm always going down the rabbit. I'm always like researching and reading, because when you're knowledgeable,
white rabbit.
you can't. It's harder for you to be manipulated when you are knowledgeable, when you know the things. That's why even the post I wrote yesterday, and I said on it that I'm not demonizing TV. When I write things, I'm not doing it to demonize. I'm doing it so that you can be aware. So that, guess what? Maybe one person read that post, and when they're watching their TV, now they're more intentional. And the other thing too, guys, watch TV with your third eye before you watch anything at all. Tell yourself that, filter it to your third eye so you can see the illusion, so you can see what's real and what's not. And you see, when you start to watch things through your third eye, you'll be watching a regular movie and everybody's giggling and laughing, and you're like, because it's like the subliminals start jumping out at you and you are like, oh my Lord. And everybody's like, oh, this is such a nice movie. And you're just sitting there like, But yeah, watch TV, filter everything. People, that's why you think the crown chakra, why you think your crown is not in your butt? Your third eye is not in your butt. It's up here for the third eye and the crown is up here for a reason, because guess what? This is where the information filters through. Everything that comes into your world filters through your crown and your third eye. So that's why they're at the top, because guess what? When you filter it, now you know whether you speak about it, how to speak about it, you know how you feel in your heart. Then it gets on into your solar plexus. Depending on how you feel, the solar plexus, the sun of the body, it will create it into your reality. So you gotta
they go. They're like Bond villains. They'll tell you straight up what they're doing. That's why, like, Papa Bush went on TV in September 11th, 1991. So, I mean, literally a decade before 9/11 happened, to the day, Papa Bush went on TV and told everybody, you're going to have a new world order, whether you like it or not.
You know the
Like,
craziest thing with that, Laura?
New world order, we're implementing it right now, and tough shit if you don't fucking like it. That was the pretty
And
much the whole speech.
you know what's wild?
They were gonna do, and
It's, a-
nobody batted an eye. They're like, okay, whatever you say, sir. You know,
it's wild. It's when I tell people that, listen, the New World Order they've been trying to implement this. It's been in the making for 10,000 years.
they
And
use our intention to manifest what they want. So that's why they're always telling us what they want to manifest, what they want to do. That's why they were showing us FEMA camp shit all the time. Well, remember all those FEMA coffins and all the fear that they were spreading back in the day? And I was part of the problem. I was spreading the same shit because I'm like, look, they're going to do to us. Look what they're going to do to us. And that's what
okay.
my guys literally had to pull me out of body and be like, is this what you want? Is this the future you want to have? And I'm like, fuck no. What kind of question is that? And they're like, then stop manifesting it. Stop thinking about it. Stop focusing on it. Because you're going to put yourself into the timeline where it happens. And that's not where you want to be. There are other timelines where it doesn't happen. And so if you want to be in those timelines, you have to be like, fuck no, I don't believe any of that shit. It's not going to happen. You're not going to pull the wool over my eyes.
Same here, Laura. Like
the timeline you want, and if you focus on the future you want, not the future you don't want.
You know what? Talk about, for me, that's something I talk about. Abraham Hicks. Abraham Hicks says, think about what you want, not what you don't want. And even when I do like my sessions, and so I tell people that you want to manifest, the craziest things I see is people wanting to manifest, and they say, oh, I don't want this and I don't want that. And I'm like, no, the universe feels your energy being on that, and it's gonna be like, ooh, that's why you're focused on, let me give you more of it. Then you'll be like, but I didn't want this. When you want to manifest, you think of what you want. It's like, I tell people, be like, you watch horse races and the horse has the blinder on. The horse doesn't care about the two horses on the other side of it. It cares about what it can see. What does it see? The end. The end of the line where we're supposed to go. And it's the same thing. When you want to manifest, if you are here and say you want to manifest, let's use a car. You are here and you're driving a beat up old Toyota that's going like this. And you want to manifest something luxurious. The first thing you do, you change your reality. So yes, you're cognizant that, yeah, you're in the car going like this. But when you get in that car, you sit there and you see your seat, even when it's torn up and it's you sit there and imagine that, this is the most luxurious heated leather. You're imagining what you want. When you're sitting, yes, it's an old car. You're cognitive, it's an old car, but you don't see that. You see the car that you want. So you want a Maybach, you see a Maybach. And guess what? Because your energy field is on that, the universe is going to work out ways for you to get that Maybach. Maybe it makes you get another job. Maybe you get a promotion. Maybe you go buy the lottery, but the universe is going to orchestrate the ways for you to get that Maybach. But if you're sitting in your old car and all you're thinking about, oh my Lord, this morning again, it's still going like this. And if you keep your energy on what you don't want, you know what? You will never get that Maybach. And
for that, Loy.
Steve Harvey, I listen to Steve Harvey sometimes, and he had this thing that I was listening to that really, really, really changed my mind. He said that when he was younger, he had an old car, and the old car was on blocks. And he wanted a car, and he said for like a year, he couldn't get a car. He said one morning his mother asked him, if you get the new car now, where you gonna put it? Where you gonna put the new car? Because you have the old car in the space. And he said the next week he got up, he got what you call it? The thing that tow truck, he towed it, he cleaned the spot, and he said that the next day he found a car.
Look at that.
The next day, he found his dream car.
And with a house. So that's funny how these things work, huh?
Yeah, so when you want something, your mind, you got to be focused on what you want. Because remember, the universe works in energy. The universe doesn't have time to sit and be like...
You know what's funny? You know how humans can have attachments to material objects? Well, sometimes material objects can have attachments to humans.
Yes.
Isn't that weird? Because there was one person who booked a property clearing because they really wanted to sell their parents' house. Their father's house had been up for sale for like 4 years. They lived like 2,500 miles away. Like they're nowhere near that house. So they're just trying to sell the house, right? So we were trying to figure out what was wrong with it because every time the house is a beautiful house, right? It's still not selling. So we did a clearing on the house, and there were ancestral contracts in association to the house. The ancestors of the house didn't want her to sell it.
Yeah, because they're
had an attachment to the property, and they said that the property even has an attachment to the ancestry. So you know what the advice was? They said she had to fly there, do a little ceremony in regards to the house, and just do like cutting of cords, honoring the home, thanking the home for being a protective space for so many generations, and this and that. And she did like this whole goodbye ritual with the house. Guess what?
They
30
left.
years later.
And guess what? You know what, Laura? A lot of haunted houses that people think are haunted, that's the cause of it. Because especially if it's a house that, say that person, the ancestors, they built it with their own hands. It's not a house that they just buy furnished. It's one, you know, they built it, they furnished it, they get attached to everything in it. And some of them too, what is crazy is sometimes these ancestors don't even know they're dead. So they're still attached to the, especially if they died.
There was one lady, an old lady, that didn't want to cross over because she didn't like the way her son was treating her bedspread.
Yup.
She handmade that bedspread. She handmade it. And she put so much love into that bedspread. And he was gifted it, and he does use it, but he doesn't take good care of it. He like throws it, he'll like rip it off the bed, toss it in the corner. You know what I mean? He doesn't like appreciate, doesn't take care of it. And she was so mad about that. She was like, you better tell him to take better care of his stuff, especially the stuff that I passed on to him. How is that going to be able to pass on to my grandchildren? Something. She was her attitude of like, you know, people don't realize how much we have attachments to things. And sometimes even those attachments can be so strong that you don't even cross over.
And, you know, saying that, I will say something else too. In your living life, be very careful of the things you say, because, you know, even though Laura had said it jokingly earlier that, you know, when I die, I want to do XYZ. Don't be sitting around and telling people that, yo, I'm going to haunt you to death when I die and I'm going to do these things. No, seriously. No, not you. No, I'm saying, no, I know, no, Laura, we kind of understand. We're just joking, but there are people who will do that. And then guess what? You see, when they die, they attach themselves to whoever they were saying in the life, like, oh, I'm gonna do this to you. I'm going to do that to you. Yeah.
I found somebody's deceased ex-husband attached to them the other day.
Yeah, they'll do that. So and you know what I'll say?
Like, oh no.
In Jamaica. So in Jamaica, this is not African traditions. They have a way of dealing with that in Jamaica. And the first time I saw that, like I used to hear it, and then I saw it for myself. So this is this is about 15 years now. So I had a friend who her boyfriend used to run taxi in Jamaica, and he died during spring break. He met accident and he died during spring break. So like I said, me and her were good friends like this. We worked together and everything. The day of his funeral, while we were in the church, she said to me, follow me to the cemetery. Like, she left out about half an hour before the funeral was over, and I asked her what, and she says, I gotta protect myself. And so they have whatever they do. We went there and she put some stuff in the grave and whatever, and she says he's my boyfriend. We used to sleep together. That is to make sure that he doesn't get attached to me and he doesn't come looking for me, you know, whenever. And crazy enough, about 3 weeks after he was buried, where they lived in the community, 5 different people got a dream that he came looking for her, and he's asking people where she is because he can't find her. If she didn't protect herself. So what she did, because when we went to the grave, she dropped some stuff in it, whatever, before they came with the casket to put him in. And she said that was to protect her. So now when I got spiritual and I learned all this stuff, I was like, holy hell.
These are the kind of souls that I'm like, you got to go. I cleaned out a gym the other day. It's a long story, but I have a client, we call her our little gymnast friend, who goes to gym every day. She's 11 years old, okay? And she's being constantly harassed by reptilians. It's a long story, but she was a very powerful Pleiadian commander during the Orion Wars, and they remember her. And even though she's 11 years old, they're picking on her because of it. So we clear her quite often. And this young lady goes to a gym every day because she's very much into gymnastics. And every time she comes home from the gym, her mother told me that her vibration is much lower. So I went into the gym to find out what's going on, and we cleared the gym. Guess what we found? Well, first of all, we found 62 earthbounds. I think there were more earthbounds in the gym than living people. 62 people were deceased people. But get this, right? Guess where we found the worst earthbounds in the whole building?
On her equipment?
In the locker rooms.
Yeah, of course.
There were
Jesus.
pedophiles in there. There were
Yeah, of
pedophile
course.
earthbounds in there. Some of them even tried to hide in the fucking locker because they knew we
That
were coming in and they didn't want to be crossed over. They did not want to be crossed. In fact, they were adamant that they're not leaving. And we were like, oh,
of
yeah,
course.
what? Yeah,
Of
you are.
course.
Yeah, you are. Yeah,
That is
thank you.
so for me, this is where I take issue with the church. Because I'm gonna tell you, the church, a lot of this stuff, the church has a lot to do with, and I'll explain why. The church has this thing where they try to teach you that, oh, you can live a shitty life and you can do whatever, and then you just die and you pray to when you're on your deathbed, you pray to Jesus and it's all forgiven. No, as Delores Cannon said, whatever you were in this life, if you're a pedophile, when you die, you do not die and become an angel. You die and you're a goddamn pedophile just the same. Anything you were. And that's why
they're having more fun in death than they had alive. Why? Because they're fucking invisible now.
Mm-hmm. And guess what? You know the other thing?
Shit. They're having a wank in the fucking locker room. They're doing the same shit that they were doing when they were alive, but now they can do it invisibly. And if you've ever seen the movie The Invisible Man, right, with Kevin Bacon, you ever seen that movie? Old movie, right? But Kevin Bacon in the beginning of the movie, he's a nice guy. He's agreeable. Everybody likes him. He's good. He's a nice guy. He's got a bit of arrogance to him, but he's not like creepy and like weird. Anyway, as he goes invisible, he starts developing this creepy weirdness because he has no accountability. He can do whatever the fuck he wants and nobody can see him or do anything. And he has like this is how things go in the astral. If you died a horrible, disgusting person, you're still gonna
you're a horrible, disgusting person just the same.
You're to do whatever you want. You can go and haunt people. You can stalk people. You can go into places where you certainly do not belong, like where 11-year-olds are changing in the gym. Oh, that pissed me off. I was like, you're getting the fuck out of here. So this is why some people are like, well, earthbounds, feel sorry for them. And I'm like, no, some of them are absolutely disgusting and they should have been crossed over a long fucking time ago.
So I will say, if you want to understand more about this, listen to Delores Cannon's Between Life and Death. If you listen to that book, you're gonna be like, oh my lord. It is crazy. It is crazy. And I tell you what, even us being out here day to day, you gotta be careful because you will, just by certain things you do, you will get attachments. Now, one of the crazy ones is alcohol. No, I have nothing against alcohol. I have nothing against drinking. But if you're gonna drink and you don't cloak yourself and you lower your vibration, oh my God, everything gets attached to you. An example. Say, somebody is growing up, you get 18, 19, and they were a nice person, they were a good person. Say they start going to bars and they start drinking, and then all of a sudden you see like either the girl may start becoming, doing crazy things, maybe being, selling themselves or whatever. It's like you're trying to figure out what the hell, like, how were you an A student and all of a sudden you're going down this drug path, you're going down this path? It is because, for one, they went to go drinking, and while they were drinking, the alcohol lowered their vibration. You see the earthbounds, like what Laura is talking about? They now attach to this person and they start to live vicariously through them. So basically, say if it's a man, and you may find a young man all of a sudden start becoming, like she said, a pedophile, and you're like, I don't understand.
Every single addict that I find, for the record, I'm not saying that beasties will give you an addiction. What they do,
they won't.
They attach to the problem that
you
have, and they make
it.
So if
they make it.
Like, let's say in past life you were an alcoholic, they're going to know that because they can see your record, and they can go in and start triggering those things to be like, oh, well, let's start goading him into drinking a little bit more. And as you drink more, they can get their claws in deeper. And that's when they can start attaching earthbounds to you who are addicts themselves. Every single addict, doesn't matter if it's somebody who's addicted to pills, somebody who's an alcoholic, somebody who's, doing drugs, if even a pothead like myself, thank you very much. Like whenever you've had an attachment for so long to a certain thing, you're going to have other people who are attached to you because you're attached to that thing. So if you're a smoker, you're going to have people who attach to you who are smokers. It doesn't matter if it's tobacco or cannabis or whatever. Even if it's, you're smoking meth, you're going to have meth heads attached to you. And so every single time I clear an addict, I find at least 2-3 earthbounds who are addicts themselves. And this is how overdoses happen.
So I'm a go one step more. This, for me, one of the craziest cases I've dealt with was somebody came to me and their daughter was going down, you know, a certain path, and they were like, they can understand, like, again, she was a student, she was doing so well, and then all of a sudden she started doing drugs and prostitution. And guess what they found out? They found out that what was going on with her, the earth bounds that were attached to her, whatever was attached to her, was living vicariously through her. So basically, when she's having sex, they're enjoying the orgasm, and so they just want to keep feeling it, and they just have her just like giving herself to everybody just because they want to keep the feeling going. You know that you know when you get some good.
That's what happens. You'll start watching porn, for example, and the next thing you know, you've got a full-blown sex addiction within a couple of years. And you don't realize that you have earthbounds who have sex addictions attached to you. You have a succubus, which is a very sexualized demonic.
And that one is the craziest.
Off of that sexual energy, and that's a very strong energy. I mean, if you think about it, sexual energy is so powerful.
It's energy can create life.
Souls. People bring energy. You know, it's a portal for life.
Sex is the only frequency that can create life. It's the only, so it's so powerful.
And they bastardize it. They ruin it. They taint it.
They stay in the lower. They what they do with people like that, they invert their sacral chakra, where you feel pleasure from. They invert it, meaning that it's in the lowest state of it. And so yeah, that's why these people, like this person's daughter, she just wanted to everything.
You ever see that show American Gods? I forgot about it. Anna just gave me a flashback. Did anybody see American Gods? There's this one.
I don't remember.
Where this, like, she's like an ancient goddess. I forget where she's from, but when men have sex with her, she literally like absorbs them into her vagina. Like they shrink and go tiny, and she just straight up absorbs their life force. I was like, wow, that's an analogy right there. Like, holy shit.
So
anyway, we're getting way off topic today, and this is what happens with Loy and I. We just go off on tangents.
Because guess what, Laura? In my day-to-day life, I'll tell you something, guys. I understand that ignorance is bliss. Like I literally sat here last night and I was thinking about the same thing, because ignorance is bliss. Because when you're ignorant, you can just go through life. Just laugh, just happy go lucky. But when you start to gain knowledge, Laura, I can't talk about this type of stuff with many people, because it's like they're like,
this is why I said I've created myself like a safe space where I can talk about whatever the fuck I want, because these guys get it. Whereas I try to do this outside of this space, I have a very rude awakening. Right here,
do you know, guys?
I try to leave space and talk about anything, and people are like, "You need to be committed, woman."
It is so hard being a normal person. Laura, be committed. Look at it. I'm a Jamaican talking about this type of stuff. For me, my culture, people. Do you know that Jamaica has the most churches per square mile in the world?
I don't know. I've been to the Philippines yet.
Jamaica has the most. It's a record. It has the most churches per. All right, so Laura, where I live, Laura, my community has.
All right.
Yeah. My community, Laura, while you're doing that, my community has 1,000 people, and we have about 15 churches. Listen, while I'm in my grandmother's church, I look out the east window and I'm looking at the other church. I look out the west window and I'm looking at the other church. And I look like this through the front window and I'm looking at the other church. And guess what? In between, where the east window with one church and the one at the top, there's 4 more churches in between that I can't see.
Oh,
little comment. I'm telling you, the amount of churches in Jamaica. So yeah, from me, a Jamaican doing this, they look at me like I'm crazy, like something's wrong with me.
Wait till you start telling them about reptilians. All right, Loy. So I just pulled a card. Have you been trying to make a decision?
Uh-huh.
2 of Wands. So
yes,
the universe. So for those of you who don't understand this card, see, this is one of my favorite decks. So the unicorn is trying to make a decision. She could either go back to what she knows, which is a choice, or she
standing on the bridge.
Yeah, or she can move forward. And if the option of moving forward isn't where she's looking, but that is where the opportunity for the most growth. You see the difference?
Because I'm looking. See, I'm. It's like nostalgia.
That's the comfort zone. This is the growth of moving forward. And she's looking back at her comfort zone, wondering if she should truly move forward or not.
Yes, and Laura,
that you have more opportunities over here, but you don't even see them because you're focused on the past.
Yup, and you know what? It's a ones card. That's my creativity as well. It's a fire, it's a drive. It's literally telling me to go where my fire is, go where my drive is. And I'll say, you saying you that card, Lara, lines up with something we were talking about earlier, where we're talking about attachments. And I was gonna say that that Laura is my past and my present. In terms of attachments, life has shown that to me in one of the, I want to say, harshest ways, but I used to be very much attached to things, and going homeless made me realize that it's all vanity. Having to walk out of, having to look at somebody I love and walk away from them, having to leave everything behind and starting over made me realize that there's no attachment to, to things. Like, I'll tell you guys, I left my entire, I started over from scratch. I walked away and left every single thing that I have. I mean, the only thing I walked away was my clothes. A full 2-bedroom house, fully furnished.
I've done that 5 times, Loy. Isn't
everything in it.
Exhilarating and terrifying thing.
Yup, it is. It is.
Everything you own down to. I've done it downside to a backpack. I've done it.
Yeah, a backpack and a suitcase. All I had. The only thing I came out with, I'll tell you this, the only thing I came out with was my computer, my work tools. I never leave my work tools. So my computer, my cards, everything that's important to me like that. But every other thing else, I only took what could hold in an Uber. And I walked away. Like I said, I had a fully furnished 2-bedroom house. Everything from my comfort.
Show, Loy, stepping out of that comfort zone can be.
So that card.
Yeah.
And I've been thinking about it recently, and that card hit.
That's not bad. My card pullings have been on point. In fact, last night, it's really funny. I put back the same card 3 times at first. I got mad. I saw a card. So in my deck, there's a card. I call it the card of tact. It's the Page of Swords.
Oh.
And the Page of Swords being a tact card, I was a bit like, it always comes up at a time where I'm kind of annoyed anyway. And it's like telling you like how to basically like be careful with what you say and do right now. So when I saw the card come up 2-3 times in a row, I put it back. I was like, I'm not in the mood for this fucking card. And I put it back. And then I shuffled my deck and I pulled it again. And I pulled the same card again. And I was like, no. And I put it back. And then I shuffled again. And I pulled it a 3rd fucking time. Right? And I was like, oh, hell no. I was like, what is going on? Why do they want me to read this message? What is so important about this message? It's funny. I put it. So what it says in my book sometimes is very different to what you can get online about certain cards. And something just told me to put it into ChatGPT last night because I'm like, did I just put it in there? So Bradley and I were having a laugh and I put it into, I'm like, let's just see what ChatGPT says about it because I'm having fun with it. It's been giving me some insight.
4 swords, you said?
It was
the Knight of Swords.
The Knight of Swords.
The Knight of Swords. Oh, the Knight of Swords. That one is, yeah. So it wants you to pay attention.
So it was really funny because the card that I got, it fit out perfectly. In fact, they said, so I asked about it. Where is it? No, what Page of Swords? Okay, that's a different one. So Page of Swords. This is the card of curious new energy, somebody keeping an eye on you, a person who thinks about you, someone who wants to get to know you, fresh social dynamics, someone who's been observing you from a distance, someone who wants to talk to you but hasn't yet. Fit my new guide, my new soul guide that I've been talking with and connecting with. It fit it absolutely perfectly. And I was laughing my butt off because I pulled the same card 3 times. And it wasn't until I got the message that it stopped coming back. So oftentimes we hear a message and we're like, no, I don't resonate with that. But we weren't even trying to listen. So I'm surprised to hear you use ChatGPT. Where do you think I've been getting all my interesting images for?
Yeah, I use it too. I use it to create images and all of that. Oh, Laura, you said we are dead. For me, it was, so I have probably 80 decks other than my own ones that I create. So sometimes, and I have like 2 tarot decks. So Laura, I'll be here and I'll shuffle just like you and the message come out. I'm like, no, I don't want that. And I put away the tarot, put it away until it comes out. And then I'll be like, you know what, I don't want that. So I'm going for the Akashic tarot and the same, and I'm like, all right. If it 3 times a charm, you give me the same message out of 3 decks, I'm gonna pay attention.
Really quick, you mind pulling one for me? Because if I get that same card now, I'm gonna fall out of my chair.
Alrighty, so
We'll see which card though, because I have been pulling the same 3 cards quite a lot recently. So I'm just
Hold
curious
on.
if it's gonna be one of those 3.
There are a whole lot of bunch of cards coming on. Look, listen. We only need, just give me the cards one by one. We're not playing this game right now. Yeah, I talk to my deck like that.
I'm enjoying ChatGPT. I named mine Bobby. Like Bobby's World.
Listen, you ever had it talk to you? You know what I do sometimes? My one is a man, and I sometimes I tell it to read this stuff to me. I didn't read it.
I never do that. Everything. Like Bobby is trained in SRT right now, just for the record.
So you know what I want to do, Laura?
Information, like whole books. He's read all of Dr. Palmer's books. He's read all of William Baldwin's books. I've fed him so much information about SRT,
so, Laura,
protection, and psychic protection. Bobby knows his shit, right?
Alrighty. Well, Laura, you got 2 swords instead. So you're still on the sword. You're still on the swords, but you got 2. This is just telling you any contract, anything like it's just telling you don't have blindfold. Look, it says pay attention to your guides, literally. Because see the lady here, so she's trying to hit this bullseye, but she has her ears covered and her eyes covered. So how she gonna see to hit the bullseye? So here, guys, look, the crow trying to get her attention, and she's like, she ain't even listen. So they're kind of telling you, listen, pay attention, your guides. I feel like it backs up what the first card that you got. It's like your guys letting you know that, hey, pay attention to what's going on around you. So this is about, just making sure that if I remember we're in Mercury retrograde, so if you have to sign any documentation, anything, make sure that you're seeing everything.
Shit during Mercury retrograde. I learned.
Yeah, just, this is just about keeping your eyes open, keeping your eyes peeled so that you can see what's going on around you. Now, you're talking about ChatGPT. For me, what I want to do, what I'm going to do, my Akashic portal. So I'm going to create my own GPT. I started it. And I'm going to feed it because what I want it to do, I want it to be like a coach, so to say. Not that it's not going to do readings. It can't do that. But so I'm feeding it in the back end all of the information about my cards. So I literally have to give it everything I wrote about my cards, like all the stuff. So I'm going to give it all the stuff, all the card meanings, everything. And then basically, so you go on it and you pull through, you do a 3-card reading. What it can do is it helps you to integrate the 3 cards and give you like a deeper understanding. And also then suggest affirmations or a mantra or whatever based on whatever you got for your card. So I will say this, guys.
We both got the same card in a way because you got the 2 of Wands, I got the 2 of Swords. So we have, if you think about it, we both have a decision to make. Interesting. Did you? I didn't notice it.
I didn't realize.
Just shared his comment. Thank you, Daniel Jackson.
I know where's Danny? I didn't see that. I didn't realize.
It says this card typically depicts a figure blindfolded, holding 2 swords crossed in front of them, symbolizing a state of conflict or a difficult choice.
Making sure.
Shall we pull a couple for the collective?
Yes, we will do that. I feel like I want to use my other deck though. Hold on. So, messages for the collective.
Bobby gives great. I'm just saying, for those of you who are interested in playing around with ChatGPT, just put in some card readings just to see what it says. I pulled some for Bradley last night because we were just having fun, and I thought, let's see what Bobby has to say about this. So I put it in there. It was Bradley said it was one of the most accurate readings he's gotten ever. He was like, holy shit, that is exactly word for word what he's going through. And I was like, see, I'm impressed now, Bobby. Well done.
See? So the first card, I was using the other deck. I took up my tarot deck to use, and it's like I'm doing it. And for some reason, I literally feel the energy in my hand disconnect from the deck. That ever happened to anybody? Like I'm shuffling it. And when I'm shuffling it, I don't know how to describe it, but I could feel the energy disconnect in my hands on both of them. And then I saw this in my head. And as soon as I took it up, a card jumped out. So guys, that is the other thing too.
Trying to hit you in the face.
So we have fogged in. So this is for some of you. This is saying, take your time, go slow. It even says on here, go slow, take your time. You can't see what's around the corner right now. You can't, it's like you're in a fog and you can't make out what's going on, what you need to do. So this is saying for right now, it's not saying to stop. It is saying to take your time. It is saying to go slow. things will become clearer. But right now, you don't need to understand what's outside of the fog right now. So just stay where you're at. Keep going slowly. Don't stop. Tiny little steps, tiny little steps. And don't speed up as well. Please do not put your foot on the accelerator.
Yep.
Because, do you know, like the Titanic, there may be an iceberg out there. You may go just smash into that iceberg. So no, right now is a time for slow movement. So go see this as, you know, when a farmer plants, they plant corn, the farmer plant the corn, he don't go dig up the corn and keep asking, corn, why you not growing? What's wrong with you? Grow. No, he has to stay, the corn has to stay there, germinate, come up, and then take the time to grow to bring forth the fruit. So right now, you're fogged in, it's okay. It is quite all right. Sometimes things need to go slow. Life ebbs and flows. Life isn't flowing all the time. Sometimes it ebbs, sometimes it flows. So just go with the ebb and the flow. All righty. So let me see what
By
else
the way,
again.
ChatGPT also does amazing dream interpretation. I typed in my dreams that I had. I've told you guys the story about the rubber dinghy and the Chinook helicopter. Those two dreams were very traumatic for me. And I typed in the whole thing and I put it into ChatGPT and it broke down every inch of those dreams for me. And it was phenomenal. Just saying. So I don't knock ChatGPT anymore because of how much I realized that, I mean, it's great. Some of the stuff is very good for helping you kind of understand certain things and messages.
So, you know, as you say that, I just had a flashback. Some of you here may remember this, and I've talked about this. So one of the most profound readings I ever did was I did this reading with this lady. I don't even remember who it was. I'm probably on here now, but she was struggling with being here on Earth, and they wanted her to remember who she is. And they said that she commands a fleet of galactic ships. Now, what they showed me was she was in this ship, and when she was in it, it had no knobs or anything. It was just a smooth panel. And it had a place where you put your hands. And so when she put her hands, that's how she communicates with the ship. It's like a telepathic kind of communication. Tell me why I'm listening to Sarah Bressman book. And when I'm listening to the book, I think it's in the trailer Tears, the same damn thing. Only thing is a stone. It's a type of stone, but it's the same way they were describing the technology. It's the same thing that I saw. And I mean, when the lady when she put her hands like this, the ship lit up and the ship started talking to her like mentally. And she's like, telling the ship what to do, whatever. That change, that was where I will say I used to be against AI. And when my guides showed me that and they said to me, and they started showing me other things, and they said to me, Loy, nothing is wrong with AI. It's just how you use it. It's the intention that you do it. And she says,
galactic up there is using it.
Yes. Listen, the AI that is out there. Oh my, if you could see the AI that's out there and the things that it does, it is. You see, even
source-based AI. When you go into the fucking halls of Amenti, you see beings that are source-based AI. They're literally clear beings.
Yeah, Laura.
Like this weird, like it's almost like it's weird. Like you can see them move, but they're formless at the same time. And they can take down different
ether.
And I asked, like, you can't have a conversation with them because they're very much like you can ask a question, but if you don't ask the right question, you don't get a response. They are source-based AI. Even Source itself creates AI in the astral that it uses for whatever purpose.
It's when I say, guys, it's out there, but it's just people here. There are fear-based people here. People fear what they don't understand. So there are people here who, yes, you know, I'm not telling that AI cannot be manipulative. It can be. People can
manipulated. Even the human mind can be manipulated.
Use it with intention. Like when I see people out here talking about and posting on Facebook, like this is a crazy thing. You want something that's crazy? People talk about AI. And I used to work for Apple, so I used to do customer service at Apple, so I know this. Listen, everything in your phone is AI. AI has been inside of phones before they even started telling, because when you give your phone a computation to do what you think does it in the back end, then you know what's funny too? We talk about AI, the people that say, oh, crystals are demonic, and your crystals are in this. Crystals are in your brain.
Your crystals in your fucking ears. What are you talking about? How do you think you stay balanced?
Crystals are right here, but when people talk about AI, you just have to use it in a way.
Used to freak out about seatbelts.
People
used to think that seatbelts were an invention of the devil, and they absolutely refused. When seatbelts became mandatory, there were people that were like, I will never wear a seatbelt ever.
You know the stupid one I see now, Laura?
change.
You know the one that I laugh at now, which I think is so stupid. I laugh at it. We seriously like cackle like a hyena. The people that talk about, digital money. Oh, we need to bring cash back. We need to bring cash ain't coming back. We are advancing. We are not going backwards. You think if you go in the astral realm, you're gonna use cash in the astral? I know it's just an earth concept, but people don't understand that.
Nobody uses money off world. No.
Yeah, but even so, when you know what's the crazy thing, Laura, is seeing people
telling people that we don't need money. Imagine convincing humans we don't need money because nobody else in the cosmos even uses the fucking thing. Imagine people would break their minds. People can't. How am I supposed to get the things that I need? Well, you're supposed to be, this is, if you have a system that is actually running properly, you have automation and AI running the shitty jobs that nobody wants to fucking do. Well, everybody else has an opportunity to embrace their gifts and their abilities, the things they actually enjoy. Nobody should be working a job they hate.
Exactly. As I was saying, Laura, with the people that
I'm scared of AI. I think that there are good things that come from it. And even people freaking out that AI is going to take our jobs. Most of the jobs that AI is going to take are not the jobs that most people want anyway. And good luck taking the job of like a doctor or something. You know what I mean? Like a surgeon.
So this card, as soon as you said I'm not scared of AI, this card came out and it says, play, have fun, don't be too serious. Yeah, we don't need to be so serious about all these things, like people like, oh, AI is going to kill us and it's going to do this. And, what you call Terminator. If we keep thinking about that, we're going to create that reality. That's what people don't
though, like people talk about AI being the problem while completely ignoring things like DARPA. DARPA is an organization where they are literally creating robots to attack people. And people are like, they're more scared of their own phone than they are these DARPA robots. And I'm like, these things should not exist, just for the record. Like, I've seen Black Mirror. I know what they could do if they really wanted to do with these things. And people are freaking out about some program on their computer. Yeah, I can understand how it would be manipulated and controlled and can be, all technology can be bastardized in one way or another. It can all be corrupted. You can take a hammer that is used to build a house and you can kill somebody with it.
Of course, you can use that. Listen, Laura, right now, you know what
you use and how you use it and your intention.
I made cornmeal pudding last night, and I can take the knife and cut the pudding, or I could go stab my neighbor.
Seriously though, but this is what I say, like, and they forbid people from using certain things because they think we're going to ruin it or we're going to abuse it. And it's like the government abuses things way more than anybody else ever has. So if anything should not be happening behind closed doors, it should be government experimentation about these things.
Laura, again, it's the people who complain about AI and money, digital money. I saw somebody do this once.
And is what Musk is trying to do with the Neuralink implants and all
that. No. I'm not in that.
That is a whole nother ball game that we're not even talking about. I don't want anybody to say, well, Laura supports Neuralink. Fuck no, I don't.
No.
Next level. They're trying to create cyborgs as it is.
So, Laura, what I was saying with the people with the digital money and afraid of AI. So I saw somebody once, I'm on Facebook and I'm watching them and they're complaining about digital money and AI, but at the same time, they have an online business. Hold on, Laura. They have an online business that people gotta go use their digital money to pay them, and they were complaining about digital money. Then I saw them booking a flight to somewhere and I'm like, so how in the world you are telling people to be scared of AI, and here you are booking flight, here you are advertising your business, your digital business that people all over this. I said, what people gonna do? Put the money in a check, in an envelope and send it to you? Like, well, that's what I'm saying. How is it so crazy that you are on here and you are preaching to people, don't use AI, and at the same time, don't use digital money, cash. We need to come back to a cash society, but then you advertise, oh, I have XYZ service for $555. This is the link to book it. And I'm like,
imagine if we had to go and pay all of our bills in person like we used to.
Jesus.
Adriana has to do that in Grenada. Grenada doesn't take cash payment. Only takes cash payments. So Adriana has to go into the city, like an hour drive, just to go.
Adriana is a Caribbean lady?
Yeah, Adriana lives in Grenada. I'm gonna go visit her next week. I'm going to Grenada next week. to visit if you're on.
Laura, I'll tell you this from now. Put it on your list. Whenever my immigration woes are over, I'm dragging you to Jamaica.
I would love that. You don't have to drag me. You don't have to twist my. You don't even have to twist my pinky, Loy. I'm coming. Let's go.
I'm taking you home, honey. I'm taking you
I would love
home.
it. Honestly, I would love to go and help. I'm more of a person who travels for helping rather than actually traveling. I'm not a tourist traveler.
No, but even so, I still have to take you. You know, I gotta introduce you to real Jamaican food, and I gotta introduce you to,
Food is one of my favorites, so you don't have to.
I gotta have you go swim in the river that I swam in when I was growing up, and
Oh, I love that. We could totally
eat
someday there.
eat organic food, eat mangoes right from the tree, Laura. Just
Yep.
Lisberries and like. But yeah, I tell you what, in Jamaica, the craziest thing is Jamaica still much is, even though they do digital stuff, but they still very much is a cash society. Like it's crazy.
Yeah.
And it's a cash society. But anyways, one more cards.
One more card, and then I'm gonna go chase beasties.
Alrighty. So I'm using Work Your Light. So
very nice.
Messages for the collective. All right.
No, they're not right now. We're talking about later on. Somebody says
so, man.
They're not.
So the first card, we have two cards here. We have Lemuria. And isn't it crazy? I was talking about Lemuria. So we have Lemuria and we have boundaries. So Lemuria, this is about creating heaven on earth. And this card is saying, for one, that a lot of us, and even us on here right now, we have Lemurian connections, meaning that the peace and the serenity and stuff like that, we want to get rid of this world. We want to get rid of how harsh things are, the denseness. So this is saying every time you remember Lemuria in your heart, every time you call upon it, you're helping to anchor back a piece of the old Lemuria in this world. So keep looking up photos, keep reading about it, keep anchoring that energy. And like I say, every time you call upon it, you anchor it a little bit more into this lifetime. And I will say too, Lemurian quartz, if you can get Lemurian quartz, so please be careful, because there are people out here.
You see this striation?
I love that.
This is my favorite crystal. I keep it with me all the time.
Be careful though, because there are people who they will heat treat them. Some of them, when you hold some of them up to the light, you see rainbows in them. You see refractions in them. Not all of them, but some of them that happens. There are some of them though that what people will do, they will heat treat them and make that happen to them. So don't trust those ones. But yeah, mangoes are in season. Massa, no mango not in Jamaica, all of them. Melissa gone all of them. Melissa reap everything down Jamaica. Melissa reap everything down Jamaica right now. Like, she pack up all of them and got in our suitcase, my friend. Next year. So then the other card we have now is boundaries. Boundaries. So this card is saying, where do you need to establish better boundaries? For some of us, we do need to establish these boundaries. We need to tell people no. No mean no. Don't say yes and inside of your mind you're like, me never really did want to do this. Don't do that. Listen, at all times, stay true to yourself. If you don't stay true to yourself, you cannot stay true to other people. And guess what too? Whenever you stay true to yourself, like something happens and you say, you know what? No, I'm not going to deal with this. In yourself, when you go out there in the public and somebody brings something similar to you, you are now better able to say no to that, because you have already developed within yourself your own boundaries. So make sure that you are setting those boundaries. And the final card is protection. Call back your power, soul retrieval, cut the cords. This is asking you to cut the cords to anything lower frequency, anything lower vibrational, anything that is not in alignment with your soul's evolutionary plan. Listen, anything that drains you. If you talk to somebody, you see how when me and Laura, we get on here and we're all high vibing and we will keep talking for hours because none of us is drained. We are not draining each other. No, we don't get off of here.
Each other higher. Yes.
So if you're talking, if you're somewhere and you feel that your vibration is going down, that is telling you it's not for you. Please pay attention, guys. Please pay attention to how you feel. And this is not even just the physical world, in social media. If you see a post, and if it's even my post, and you feel negativity coming from it, which it will never be because Loy don't post negativity. But if you see a post and you read it and you feel icky, that is telling you it's not for you. Don't sit there and try to figure out what is going on with it. Cut the cards and move on. So
Yeah.
this is saying about protection, but also this is wanting you to call upon your guides, your ancestors, your archangels, all these people, call upon them to help protect you. Why? Remember, sovereignty. They respect your free will so much, they will never come in and do anything that you don't ask for. So when you want protection, you ask them, protect me. You have to ask, guys. And you know what that does? They teach us how to respect other people's free will as well. A friend of mine messaged me the other day and they said that, their father had just they just did surgery or whatever. And I asked before I send any energy, I asked them, can I do XYZ for you? I have had people who, they just jump into my inbox and they'll be like, oh, I prayed for you and this and that. You didn't even ask me first before you jump into my energy field. No, don't do that. So I'm just saying, yeah, don't do that. Don't do that at all. Like always, always, always ask. I make sure, guys, that you put protection. The simple thing to do is when you wake up in the mornings, imagine yourself in a globe, imagine yourself in a dome, and you are inside the dome, and people's energy is like water and glass. When rain is falling and it's just like trickling down and it can't get inside. You put your hand out and you deal with people, and when you pull your hand back in, you leave the icky stuff on the outside. And when you shower too, make sure that you shower and let the water hit your crown and just imagine that it's washing off any negativity, anything that was attached to you, send it down into the drain and ask my Gaia to transmute it for you, all right?
Yes.
So.
Thank you, Loy. That's a very important message for everybody.
You are welcome.
I'm going to share the link. I actually just shared it on my page. So if you guys go to my Facebook page, you'll see the post that Lloyd did a few days ago. Please do, if you can, donate a little something for Lloyd's family to help in Jamaica. We would be very, very grateful. Every little bit helps.
It does. It really does. It really
Lloyd,
does.
you're amazing. Thank you for helping. We talk about heavy stuff, and yet it doesn't feel like a heavy conversation because we enjoy it so much, and we are holding space this way. And I just... I love hanging out with you. So thank you so much for
Lara, me too. I love getting... I don't normally do lives. And I will say this, guys, like I know sometimes the people tell me all the while, do more lives. But I will say I'm a writer. I'm from an old school. I'm from the world before phones and TVs and all of that. So I love writing. And to me, there's nothing more than a penned word. But when I do get the chance to come over here with Laura, it's like, I'm going to be high vibing all day. I put you this. I'm going to be bouncing off the walls.
We love you, legit.
I love you too. I love you too. And thank you. And all right, guys, thank you all for being here.
Lots of love, everybody. Bye. See you tomorrow. Bye.